Just started university, and my beautiful tutor turns out to be the mother of my child. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 301 Return to Michang for New Year's greetings. Hang up the phone. Zhang Yuxi threw herself into Lin Feng's arms. Hubby, did you hear that? Lin Feng hummed. Actually, I think it's time for Anlan to find a boyfriend. Although I don't know who the other person is, Anlan has a carefree personality. It's good if someone can subdue her. Zhang Yuxi nodded. I think so too. I really hope that lovers in the world can finally get married and find their own happiness. Lin Feng smiled. Go to sleep. Zhang Yuxi lay on his chest. I can't sleep. Lin Feng came over. Can't sleep. Zhang Yuxi was frightened. I can sleep. I can sleep. Lin Feng was satisfied. Go to sleep. The next day, because of the heavy snow, they ate and slept at home during the new year. Under Lin Feng's leadership, they all gained more than 10 pounds. During the new year, he and Zhang Yuxi went to the home of a patient little boy who had borrowed money from the hospital. The child was very healthy and recovered well. They paid Lin Feng back 10,000 yuan, but Lin Feng refused. He didn't need this little money. After he left, he secretly put 50,000 yuan in the child's toy box. On the 5th day of the Chinese New Year, they bought plane tickets to return to Michang. What the babies were most worried about was their little baby. When they mentioned separation, the babies were all sad. They pulled Zhang Fuiong and Zhao Lizhan and told them to take good care of their baby. Grandma, my babies are now in your care. Please take good care of them. I will come to see them later. I miss them and will chat with them through video. As he said that, Dabao's handed his babies to Zhao Lizhan. He looked very cherished. Erbao's little cuties were also handed over solemnly. Next came Sanbao and Sebao. Zhao Lizhan was a little overwhelmed and decided to raise them up. Erbao cried, and Dabao also shed tears silently. Sanbao said goodbye to his fruits, vegetables and toys. Sebao touched the ducks reluctantly. They had started to change color since the little yellow ducks, but they were still cute. They got on the plane and arrived in Michang in the afternoon. Lin Dashan and his wife, as well as Lin Ji, had been waiting for a long time. Zhou Qilin saw the little grandchildren coming out, and ran over happily, hugging one and the other. Oh, my little grandchildren, you miss Grandma so much? She asked Sebao. Do you miss Grandma? Sebao nodded, and then said, but I miss my Ultraman more now. Zhou Qilin knew. The Ultraman that Sebao was talking about was his chickens, ducks and quails. She smiled and comforted Sebao. It's okay, your grandma and grandpa will take very good care of them over there. You can go back to see them then, and by then, they must have grown up. You have to trust grandpa and grandma, right? Sebao thought about it and nodded. The babies have grown a lot bigger than when she saw them before. They are so heavy in her arms that she can't hold them after walking for a while. Lin Feng walked to Lin Ji and looked at his younger brother. You've become more mature and stable. How about it, do you have a girlfriend? This sentence caught Lin Ji off guard. Lin Feng understood, then she does. During the Chinese New Year, Lin Feng did not return to Mingai Villa, but returned to his old villa. Many of the Lin family's relatives are in Michang, so the Chinese New Year should be more fun. It will be very lively when visiting relatives and friends. It's already been booked. We'll go for lunch tomorrow at noon. The next day, the family had nothing to do anyway. They walked over there while shopping with the babies. When they arrived, almost everyone had come. This time, the eldest aunt's family did not come back, but everyone else who came was there. Lin Xiaolin sat at Lin Dahu's table with a big belly, looking rather haggard. Zhou Qilin mentioned her and Song Yi's matter to them last night. Song Yi and his ex-wife have not divorced yet because of a house. Lin Xiaolin and Song Yi, they didn't even get a marriage certificate. The third aunt was so angry that her liver ached, but she endured it for the sake of her grandson. Lin Dahu didn't recognize this daughter at all, and it was said that they hadn't spoken a word for a long time. It was the third aunt who passed a message to mediate. Lin Rui and Lin Xiaolin were not on good terms before, but he only had such a biological sister. Seeing that his sister was not living a happy life, as her only family member, he did a lot of work. Lin Rui's driving school was running well and making a lot of money. He was not as self-righteous as before, but was steady and modest. The relationship with Du Yan has also improved. He smiled and said, Lin Feng is here, we were just talking about you. He looked at the babies. Oh, these little guys are getting cuter and cuter. Joe Killen smiled and said, you guys, hurry up and say congratulations to Uncle Rui and let him give you red envelopes. The 4 babies stood in a row obediently. Uncle Rui, Happy New Year, congratulations on making a fortune. Lin Rui laughed, Happy New Year. Diane on the side handed over the red envelope with a smile. The babies received the red envelopes and happily handed them to Zhang Yuxi. The third aunt smiled and said, why give it to your mother? Keep it in your pocket. If you want something or want to eat something, use this money to buy it. They were stunned for a moment, as if they were a little surprised. They could keep this thing by themselves? Lin Dahu on the side quickly said, it's right to give it to mom. Then he took out 4 more red envelopes. Come on, this is from your third grandfather. He glared at his wife, and after the people left, he whispered. Their family is rich, don't let the children spend money recklessly, what if they are taught bad habits? Third aunt widened her eyes, how is it possible? They are still so young. Lin Dahu rolled his eyes, what's wrong with being young? They are more sensible than Xiaoan and the others. Third aunt stopped talking for a while. Lin Xiaolin also took out 4 red envelopes, here. Everyone was a little surprised that Lin Xiaolin, who had always been stingy, would give red envelopes this time. But soon they thought that she must want Lin Feng to attend her child's full moon banquet, 100-day banquet, etc. Here, Lin Jiajin and his wife also prepared red envelopes for the babies. Lin Dan also prepared. Those who came this time were all Lin's own people, and they could make jokes. Lin Jiajin looked at Lin Feng. Wow, our President Lin is really getting more and more handsome now. The whole person's temperament is different. Wow. I heard that you bought the Chuxia Hotel. My god, I checked the hotel and the accommodation fee starts from 5 figures a night. Exclamation mark. Lin Feng sat down amidst everyone's laughter. Lin Jiajin chuckled, long time no see, I won't go home until I'm drunk today. Lin Feng waved his hand, no drinking. Lin Jiajin pouted, damn it, I made so much money, why don't I drink a little? Lin Feng raised his eyebrows, are you sure you can drink more than me? Lin Jiajin chuckled, just give it a try. Lin Feng looked disdainful, you can't beat me, so I won't drink. Lin Jiajin was unhappy, do you look down on me staying? Lin Feng laughed, yes, I look down on you. They were chatting here, and Zhang Yuxi was holding their second son. Chapter 302, Have a Second Child? Lin Jiajin's 2 sons are both chubby and cute. Especially the little one, who is white and chubby, and is very lovable at first sight. Zhang Yuxi held the baby in her arms and was reluctant to let go. In her mind, she couldn't help but recall the babies when they were half a month old. They were as cute as him. No, they were even cuter than them. Wang Lu didn't go out to work, and she was a full-time wife at home. She took care of the 2 babies' diet and daily life wholeheartedly. Although sometimes they were naughty and made her wish she had never given birth to these 2. But when she thought about it, they were all her own children, not to mention that Lin Feng took care of 4 at once without the help of others. She had her mother-in-law and her mother to take care of them. It would be unreasonable if she couldn't handle it anymore. Seeing that Zhang Yuxi liked them so much, she asked jokingly, your financial conditions allow it now. And the babies are all grown up, have you ever thought about having a second child? Zhang Yuxi shook her head, no, what if there are quadruplets again? Wang Lu chuckled and couldn't help laughing. You are so rich now, can't you afford to raise a few children? Besides, we encourage having a second child, and there is no fine, so what are you afraid of? Zhang Yuxi was still very calm. No, 4 babies are already enough. Zhang Yuxi held the child in Lin Feng's arms. Do you think it is cute, husband? It has a chubby head and a big body. It will definitely be successful when it grows up. Lin Feng held it in his hands and looked at it carefully, it is indeed good looking. This child is not shy, and anyone can hold him. Lin Feng looked at him, and his mind couldn't help but recall the appearance of the babies when they were half a year old. After handing the child to Wang Lu, Lin Jiajin asked the hotel to bring the best white wine. Come on, the best wine. Let's see which of us brothers gets drunk. Lin Feng persuaded him to give up. I told you, you couldn't drink more than me before, and you still can't drink more than me now. Lin Jiajin sighed, brother, I haven't had a drink with you for many years. Can we just have a drink this time? Lin Feng was unmoved. No. Lin Jiajin had no choice but to compromise. Lin Feng said, let's drink a bottle of beer, just for the sake of showing it. You are all fathers, you should take care of your health. Lin Jiajin smiled, okay. Lin Rui sat over, count me in. Now Lin Rui has opened a driving school, and except for smoking, he has never touched a drop of alcohol. Lin Jiajin looked around, come on, Xiaoji, you count in too. Lin Ji sat down. Now he is an adult, it's okay to drink beer. Lin Feng said, you are still young, let's just show it for the sake of showing it. Lin Jiajin also said, yes, just for the sake of showing it. Lin Ji stood up, here, I am the youngest, let me pour you some wine. Lin Rui was very pleased, you are worthy of being a student at Peking University. It's not been long since you started school, but you already know the ways of the world. Lin Jiajin smiled and said, Xiaoji, study hard and be a promising person in the future. Xiaoji nodded. Lin Rui raised his glass, brother you is not here this year, so it's just the four of us brothers. Come on, drink this glass of wine, and wish us great wealth this year. The four of them drank it down in one gulp. Xiaoji poured the wine. The men were drinking here, and the women were chatting there. The babies were playing with Xiaoan and brother Rui's son. A couple and Zhou Qilin were watching. Although Zhang Yuxi couldn't like Lin Xiaolin, she still felt sympathy for her. Wang Lu said while feeding her son. We were going to invite Feng Yuang to come today, but it was not appropriate, and Xiaolin was here too, which was not good. Diane felt sorry, she still had high hopes for Feng Yuang. Now that Xiaolin has Song Yi's child, she has no chance with Feng Yuang. Wang Lu whispered, I heard that Feng Yuang has a girlfriend now. The other party is a Chinese teacher at a key middle school in this city. She is a classmate of Feng Yuang and has never been married. Diane thought for a while and said, the last time I saw Feng Yuang walking with a woman. She is taller than Xiaolin, thinner, has long hair, and dresses pretty well. In short, she is much better than Lin Xiaolin. Zhang Yuxi usually does not express her own opinions when facing such gossip. For her, if Lin Xiaolin is not happy, she is not innocent. Everyone has to pay the price and bear the consequences for the path they choose. From the perspective of an experienced person, Feng Yuang is not bad. He does not smoke, drink, or play cards. He goes home on time, treats his wife well, and is filial. In Micheng, a salary of 5 or 6,000 is not bad. After all, some store managers now also make about 6,007. Besides, Feng Yuang has saved money to buy a house, plus the old house. There are 2 houses in total. Compared to many people who are still worried about not being able to buy a house, they are already pretty good people. The couple lived a good life, maybe not rich. But their daily life would definitely not be too bad. It's just that Lin Xiaolin wanted to live a lot of life, and Feng Yuang might not be able to satisfy her for the time being. So, Lin Jiajin and Zhang Anmin discussed and asked him to be the deputy store manager in the store in Yuhuli. The salary would definitely not be less. But Feng Yuang refused. He changed his job and became a sales supervisor. The company paid more than 7,000 a month. There were also 5 insurances and 1 housing fund, and the treatment was very good. It seemed that he had a pretty good life after leaving Lin Xiaolin. Lin Rui was usually nice to Feng Yuang, and Lin Jiajin also liked to take him out to play whenever he had nothing to do. So until now, they are still in contact. Wang Lu was talking when Du Yan pulled her and winked at her. Sure enough, Lin Xiaolin came. She sat over and said with a smile, what are you talking about? Just by this sentence, Zhang Yuxi felt that Lin Xiaolin had changed. Diane smiled and said, we asked Yuxi if she wants to have a second child. Wang Lu also said, that's right, I like my youngest child very much, but I don't want to have one myself. Zhang Yuxi smiled, I really don't want to, but at worst I can hold your child and play with him if I'm greedy. Wang Lu smiled and said, go away, who wants you to hold our baby? Go and have your own child. You're not without a husband. Then, Wang Lu shouted to Lin Feng. Mr. Lin, look at your wife. She loves our son so much. Why don't you have a second child? Lin Feng said with a smile, we need to think about this. If we are pregnant, we will have the baby. Lin Xiaolin asked, will you have the baby? Zhang Yuxi asked, is it hard to be pregnant? Lin Xiaolin's eyes darkened, it is hard. Zhang Yuxi smiled, it was so hard for you to be pregnant with 1 child. I was pregnant with 4 children at that time. You don't know that I was scared to death at that time. I was worried all day long. You said a second child? What if I have a quadruplets again? Wang Lu said with a smile. What's there to be afraid of? You are not alone now. You have Lin Feng and the children to accompany you. Besides, this is not winning the lottery. It's impossible for you to win quadruplets next time. As she said that, she held her son who had just finished drinking milk in front of Zhang Yuxi. Look, isn't it fragrant? Do you want to have another one? Zhang Yuxi was a little greedy. Take it away. Wang Lu said with a smile. I won't. I want you to see enough and satisfy your eyes. Zhang Yuxi laughed. Wang Lu, why are you like a child now? She used to be a very cold person. Wang Lu smiled and said, taking care of children every day, they have become childish. Chapter 303, Get the Problem Solved. Lin Xiaolin is much quieter than before. She looks like she has changed a lot. Zhang Yuxi is cold on the outside but warm on the inside. Finally, she couldn't help asking. Well, what's the situation between you and Song Yi? Lin Xiaolin shook her head. His ex-wife has been dragging her feet and refusing to divorce. Song Yi has a small villa in Micheng and another one in his hometown. His wife wants a breakup fee of 1 million and half of the money for the small villa. Now the small villa has doubled in value, and she wants to pay according to the market price. Song Yi disagreed and said to pay according to the original price. I just asked about this matter, and it has been almost half a year. Zhang Yuxi didn't say anything, just said oh. Lin Xiaolin asked with a frown, what do you think I should do in my current situation? Zhang Yuxi thought for a while. It's nothing more than a matter of money. To put it bluntly, I think Song Yi is not a good person. Zhang Yuxi's words made Lin Xiaolin's face sink immediately. But Zhang Yuxi didn't care. She said calmly, in fact, his wife's request is not excessive in my opinion. Since this small villa was bought by the two of them in the first place. Then now that the house has appreciated in value, why can't it be divided according to the market price? No one would be happy about it, right? And in my opinion, she has no intention of pestering Song Yi, she just wants to fight for some of the benefits she deserves, which is normal. To tell you something you don't want to hear, this incident makes me feel that Song Yi is unreliable and a little heartless. She smiled again and said, however, this is just my one-sided guess. I have never met him, I just express my opinion based on this incident. It may be a bit arbitrary, don't be angry. Lin Xiaolin pursed her lips and frowned, obviously unhappy. Now that the words have calmed to this point, she is not afraid to say a few more words. I remember that when you were pregnant, you already knew that Song Yi had a wife and children. At that time, the baby was still young and had not yet formed a life form. It was a bit hasty for you to decide to give birth to him before you dealt with this matter. Zhang Yuxi said here, smiled and stood up, I'll go see the children. She took out a sweat towel from her backpack and went to see if the babies were sweating on their backs. She picked up the hot water cup again. Winter is here, drink more water. As soon as Zhang Yuxi left, Lin Xiaolin also got up and left, obviously unhappy. But her happiness would not affect others. Life is your own, there is no need to be unhappy for those irrelevant people. This scene was seen by the three old mothers. The second aunt frowned. Xiaolin is getting more and more angry now. Although I don't know what Zhang Yuxi said to Lin Xiaolin. But people like her, even if they say something, they won't say anything too much. Isn't it because Lin Xiaolin has a bad temper? The third aunt sighed, don't worry about her, she is like this now. Speaking of this, she also has a headache. As they were talking here, Song Yi came over there. I'm sorry. I was stuck in traffic on the road, I'll drink 3 cups instead of 6. You can tell at a glance that he is a seasoned man who is good at socializing. After drinking 6 cups, Lin Rui asked with a smile, Song Yi, Xiaolin, come here. Lin Xiaolin's face lit up, knowing that her brother wanted to seek justice for her. Lin Rui asked in front of both of them. Song Yi, my sister is going to give birth in a month or 2, when will you solve your little problem? After the child is born, we need to apply for a birth certificate, and then register the child. Do we need to write an ominous name of the biological father on it? Besides, you are a grown man, so you should be more efficient. Lin Xiaolin looked at Song Yi. Song Yi laughed dryly. Brother, I also want to solve this problem quickly. But I have my own difficulties. Don't I want to marry Xiaolin as soon as possible and give her a name? Who knew that Lin Rui would turn hostile? What's your problem? It's nothing more than a little money. Wouldn't it be okay if you give it to your ex-wife? Song Yi didn't say anything, hanging his head. Lin Jiajin said again, you want money, and you want a wife and children. How can it be so easy? Xiaolin is our sister after all, although some things she did were not decent enough. Now that things have come to this, what else can we say? Song Yi nodded, yes, the two elder brothers are right. I didn't handle this matter well enough. Lin Rui waved his hand. Don't give me those nonsense. When do you think this matter can be resolved? Give me a definite answer. Song Yi said, this matter can definitely be resolved before the child is born. Lin Rui is also an old hand, and he feels that what Song Yi said is unbelievable no matter how he listens to it. Are you sure? Song Yi nodded, sure. Brother, you believe me? Lin Rui asked Lin Xiaolin, do you believe him? Lin Xiaolin didn't believe it. Song Yi didn't know how many times he had said this to himself. Lin Feng, who had not spoken a word, said, how about this, let's call his wife over and solve this matter face to face. Everyone was surprised when he said this. But after thinking about it, this is also a solution. Instead of letting Song Yi go back and deal with it alone, it is better to deal with this matter in front of so many people. Lin Rui immediately slammed the table, okay, this matter is settled, you go call that woman. Ask her to meet here to talk, there is no other meaning, just to clarify the matter of your house and solve it as soon as possible. Song Yi hesitated. This is not good, it's the new year. Lin Rui frowned. What do you mean it's the new year? It's the 6th day of the new year, okay. People outside are already working on the 3rd and 4th days of the new year. Hurry up and call, stop talking nonsense. In the end, Song Yi compromised and called the woman. After hanging up the phone, Lin Rui asked, is she coming? Song Yi nodded, she said she will be here in half an hour. Lin Feng said lightly, let's find a place to meet alone. We are all our people here. People think we are bullying the minority. Lin Rui nodded, okay. As Lin Xiaolin's brother, he must go. Lin Jiajin didn't mean to, and Lin Feng didn't express his opinion. In the end, only Lin Rui, Dian and the third aunt went to discuss this matter. Wang Lu sighed. Xiaolin is better. Maybe we are all concerned about this matter. But she doesn't know. I don't want to get involved in this thankless task. In the end, I will be a nobody. Half an hour later, a woman came. Although she is not outstanding in appearance, she has a good temperament and gives people a sense of competence. Although they are all relatives of Lin Xiaolin. But they have to admit that compared with others, they are indeed a long way behind. The woman carried a bag and brought people with her. As for how to discuss it, no one knows. Eat what you should eat and drink what you should drink. At this moment, the babies are all sleepy. Lin Dashan and his wife discussed and took the children back for a nap. Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi are here. When things are done, have a good gathering with peers. The babies are beginning to be confused one by one, and Zhang Yuxi wants to accompany the babies back. But it is also a big deal. Wang Lu has not left, and Duyan is still there, so she will wait for him. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 304 Encounter with Feng Yuang. Not long after, Dian came back angrily. She sat on the stool and cursed. That Song Yi is nothing at all. Wang Lu comforted her, don't be angry, he is not your husband, why are you angry? Zhang Yuxi and Duyan thought about it for a while. Yes, it's right. Dian calmed down and said slowly. It turns out that 90% of the money in that small villa was paid by the woman. At that time, Song Yi's business was losing money, and he had no money. And the woman didn't want to live with him for a long time, but just wanted to get her share of the money. But Song Yi refused to give it, even went through the procedures, but he just refused to give it, and wanted to wear her down day by day. Wang Lu frowned. Is this the woman's one-sided statement? Dian laughed. When the woman said these words, Song Yi didn't say a word. I guess it's true. Wang Lu's face was not very good. If that's true, then Song Yi is too shameless. As a woman, she couldn't help but sigh. When you meet such a scumbag, you want to kill him. Dian was very angry. Anyway, I don't care about Xiaolin's matter, and I don't want to care about it. However you want to deal with this matter. Wang Lu also said, then don't worry about it, it's her fault for not listening to advice at the beginning. I think he has a car and a house, and lives in a small villa, so he is sincere to her. Diane took a sip to ease it. Unexpectedly, Wang Lu's words almost made her burst out. Since Song Yi is so shameless, he won't let you pay for this money. How much does the woman want? Diane heard it, that's 3 million, it won't work, I want to go and see. Although she is her biological sister, she is an adult, okay? You should bear the mistakes you made. Why do you drag them down with you? If she, Lin Xiaolin, had a little brain, she wouldn't have ended up like this. They finished eating here and asked the waiter to come and clean up the table. Song Yi and his friends were outside. It was not convenient for them to go out, so they had to wait in this box. Another half an hour passed and the people came back. Lin Rui's face turned black, while Du Yan was fine, with a blank expression. Lin Xiaolin cried so hard, while the third aunt was more helpless. Lin Dahu shouted, shocking everyone. He pointed at Lin Xiaolin and said, why are you crying? Go back and cry. Solve this matter by yourself in the future, no one will help you. You are in your 20s, and you did such a thing. Do you have a pig brain? Get out of here, stop being an eyesore here, you are so bloated. Lin Dan comforted him, don't say anything, every child makes mistakes. This matter is to solve the problem. Once the problem is solved, everything will be easy to handle. He asked Lin Rui, how did it go? Lin Rui's face was dark, Song Yi did not agree to pay, and said to follow the procedures. The woman finally asked for 1.5 million, and he was unwilling to give it. To be honest, as a man, he wanted to beat Song Yi to death when he saw him. He looked at the third aunt and said, Mom, you saw it too. It's not that I don't want to help, but I can't do anything if Song Yi doesn't pay. Are you asking me to pay for him? That's like throwing meat buns at a dog, it's a one-way trip. Auntie 3 sighed heavily. Mom won't be so stupid. Lin Rui's face looked better. If they asked him to pay the money, he probably wouldn't be so close to his mother in the future. Could it be that a son is no longer a son? This matter was just over, but everyone also expressed their attitude. Everyone put aside their unhappiness, and Lin Dan and his wife took their eldest grandson Xiaoan back first. Lin Jiajin and his wife took their youngest son out shopping. Diane also asked her son to go back with Xiaoan. She would pick him up later. To get rid of the unhappiness, everyone decided to go out for a walk. Lin Rui couldn't help complaining again, but was stopped by Du Yan. Enough, it's boring to keep talking about this. This matter was not mentioned for the time being. After discussing it, everyone decided to go for a walk in Yuhuli. The reason is that they are hungry after shopping, and they can also bring some money to their own store. Although they don't have to worry about this order. But when it comes to fate, it's really wonderful. Wang Lu suddenly asked, hey, do you think that is Feng Yuan? Following Wang Lu's line of sight, they saw a man and a woman talking and laughing. The man's figure is somewhat familiar. Looking closely, isn't it Feng Yuan? Several people carefully looked at the woman standing next to her. It must be said that her temperament is much better than Lin Xiaolin. The two people talked and laughed, which made Lin Xiaolin's current life quite unhappy. Being watched by several pairs of eyes, Feng Yuan discovered them. Several people quickly pretended to be nonchalant and retracted their gazes, and then stepped forward to say hello. Lin Rui asked, what a coincidence, I ran into you. Who is this? He used to wear a filter and was still a little dissatisfied with Feng Yuan. After today, he found that Feng Yuan couldn't be better than Song Yi. It's a pity that Lin Xiaolin didn't know how to cherish. Feng Yuan introduced her openly, this is my girlfriend. Anyway, it was Lin Xiaolin who had wronged him, so he was confident in front of her family. The woman was very generous, and her eyes stayed on Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi for a few more seconds. There was nothing she could do, one was too beautiful, and the other was too handsome. Lin Rui smiled, how about we have a drink together some other day? Feng Yuan shook his head, I'm afraid not, I'm not free during this period, I'm preparing for the wedding. Everyone was surprised, but after thinking about it, they felt it was normal. They were all grown up. Lin Rui, Lin Jiajin, and Lin Feng congratulated one after another. Lin Feng said, when are you getting married? Have you chosen a date? Feng Yuan smiled and said, a week later, on the 15th. Lin Feng said, oh, I'm in Micheng, call me when the hotel is booked. and I'll come to have a drink later. Lin Jiajin thought for a while and said, okay, I'll come when I'm free, and if I'm not free, I'll give you the red envelope. As Lin Xiaolin's elder brother, he thought Feng Yuan was a good person and would not attend. I won't go. You know I'm busy at the driving school. Feng Yuan nodded, okay, I'll contact you then. I have something else to do so I'll leave first. I wish you a happy new year. Looking at the backs of the two people leaving, they all felt sorry for Lin Xiaolin. Feng Yuan was actually very good, much better than most men. After walking around Yuhuli, they went to the restaurant for dinner. Lin Jiajin smiled and said, shall the three of us have a drink tonight? Chapter 305 Attending the Wedding Banquet. The third person mentioned by Lin Jiajin is Zhang Yuxi. Lin Feng had no objection, after all, they were all partners. So, Lin Feng and Lin Jiajin went to the head office again. Business was good during the Chinese New Year. Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi were the focus wherever they went. Zhang Yuxi smiled and said, you should come more often, business will get better. Lin Feng sat down, but I have a family, I don't attract bees and butterflies. Zhang Yuxi asked, why didn't I see Sukiki? Lin Jiajin smiled and said, I didn't say. Zhang Yuxi sat down, well, she is pregnant and is taking care of the fetus at home. Because she got pregnant suddenly, we got the certificate and held a banquet in her countryside. We'll talk about it after she gets married. Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi quickly sent their blessings. Congratulations on becoming a father. Zhang Yuxi was a little embarrassed, unexpected, completely unexpected. Lin Feng teased him, what's there to be embarrassed about your girlfriend being pregnant? You're still shy. Zhang Yuxi chuckled, I want to have a child after getting married, and I want to play with Sukiki for a few more years. Unfortunately, you're pregnant. When I think about becoming a father, I'm still a little nervous. I don't know if I can be a good father. Lin Jiajin laughed, nowadays, many people are like this, get on the bus first and buy the ticket later. Look at these two people in front of you, they are living a sweet life. Besides, my brother is such a good person, he will definitely be a good father in the future, no doubt. This made Zhang Yuxi very embarrassed. Except for their parents, no one else knew much about her and Lin Feng's affairs. They chatted for a while. They didn't go home until after 8 o'clock in the evening. Because the little baby at home had called them for video. Since the babies knew that WeChat could video chat, they found Zhang Yuxi's avatar and video call. When they opened the video, they saw Erbao's big forehead. 4 babies crowded in front of the phone, asking one after another. Mom and Dad, when will you come back? The babies miss you. Erbao is so bored, he misses Mom and Dad. Sibao asked, did you go out to play? Why didn't you bring the babies? The babies want to play too. Or did you go out to eat something delicious? Dabao squeezed in, Mom and Dad, I want to come too. Sanbao said in a baby voice, brother and sister, please make way. I want to see Mom and Dad too. Sibao moved, come here, sister. Sanbao said obediently, thank you, Sibao. Sanbao came over and asked, Mom and Dad, it's dark outside. When will you come back? We all miss you. Come back soon, okay? There are bad guys outside at night. Zhang Yuxi pointed the phone at Lin Jiajin, Zhang Anmin and others. Look, Mom and Dad are with him. We'll be home soon, dear. Zhang Anmin waved, hello, babies, do you remember Uncle Zhang? The babies probably forgot about him a long time ago, and they also said obediently, hello, Uncle Zhang. Sanbao said, then Mom and Dad, come back early, I'm hanging up now. Sibao quickly said, I saw some delicious food, can you bring me some delicious food when you come back? Dabao wants some too, and toys too. Erbao wants some too. Sanbao also said, Sanbao wants some too. I guess this sentence is just following the crowd. After hanging up the phone, Zhang Anmin and Lin Jiajin were so envious. Lin Jiajin always wanted a daughter, but he ended up having 2 sons. Looking at Sanbao, who was so well behaved and cute, he felt itchy. Wait a few years, and try harder to see if he can have a daughter. Lin Feng stood up, I won't chat with you anymore, I'm going back, and I'll buy them some small cakes and toys by the way. They're all fathers, so they can understand. Moreover, how can you bear to make such cute babies sad and disappointed? Lin Feng bought toys and puddings at the pastry shop. When they got home, they heard the door open and ran over one by one. Seeing the toys and snacks in Lin Feng's hands, they all smiled sweetly. At this time, Sanbao who came to him didn't exist, and he just did what he had to do. Lin Feng distributed the snacks and toys. Zhou Qilin came over and asked, "How is Ailin's matter handled?" Lin Feng gave a brief account. Zhou Qilin frowned and finally sighed. "What should we do? Won't your uncle and aunt be mad to death?" Lin Feng comforted her, "Mom, don't worry about this matter." Lin Dashan nodded, "That's right, I heard what Yuxi said to Xiaolin. This child is still the same. I hope he can learn some lessons after this incident." Zhou Qilin nodded helplessly. Lin Feng talked about Feng Yuang's girlfriend again. Zhou Qilin nodded, "I know about this. I used to be close to Feng Yuang's mother. We chatted for a while after we met that day. The woman is a teacher at a key middle school in this city, teaching Chinese, and is a classmate of Feng Yuang. The other party's family has 2 houses, an only child, and her parents have pensions. There's an uncle who is a little wealthy, and he said that Feng Yuang's job was found by her uncle. He also said that they will get married in a week. It is not convenient for me to go, and the gift money must be given." Lin Dashan was surprised, getting married in a week, so soon. Zhou Qilin thought for a while, maybe the woman has a child. Lin Feng said, "You meet Feng Yuang today, tell him that I will go to the wedding." Zhou Qilin thought for a while, "Go, Feng Yuang is a good kid. And the matter between him and Lin Xiaolin was originally the woman's fault. If we don't go, people will think that our Lin family is cold and indifferent." Lin Feng nodded, "I think so too." 2 days later. Lin Feng received an invitation letter from Feng Yuang. No wonder they didn't hear the news, it turned out that it was held at the woman's place. Michang has 3 districts and 5 counties. The woman's hometown is in the county, and her grandparents are looking forward to her getting married soon. So in the end, they discussed and decided to hold the buffet directly in her hometown. In the south, in addition to relatives and parents, there are also some former colleagues. Lin Feng took a few red envelopes, drove Lin Dashan's off-road vehicle, and followed a navigation to the designated place. Then, they got lost. Zhang Yuxi looked ahead and said, "We are not lost, we just followed the navigation." Lin Feng backed the car back and said, "I'll drive another fork in the road to see." 10 minutes later, they got lost again. There was no way, so Lin Feng had to call Feng Yuang. Feng Yuang asked him to describe where he was. "I roughly know where you are, I'll have someone pick you up." "Okay." After a while, a man on a motorcycle was seen. "Are you Lin Feng?" Lin Feng nodded, "Yes. I am the woman's relative, come with me." "Okay. But drive carefully in front, our roads are quite narrow." "Okay." The man on the motorcycle led the way. Lin Feng drove the off-road vehicle and followed closely behind him. Chapter 306, The Potential of a Foodie. 20 minutes later, they finally arrived at their destination. "Just park the car here." There was a very bright forest, where the wedding car and other guests' cars were parked. Lin Feng's SUV was very eye-catching. Lin Feng held Zhang Yuxi's hand and walked for a while before arriving. From a distance, they saw many people gathered around the table, talking and laughing. This place was the bride's grandmother's house. It was a 3-story small villa, very beautifully built. There were banquets outside the yard, and there were also banquets on the road, with many people. Zhang Yuxi whispered, "Hubby, I've heard of buffets for a long time. But I never had the chance to eat it, and today I finally got my wish." Lin Feng smiled, "Then let you see it, it actually tastes very good." Zhang Yuxi said again, "I'm a girl, sometimes it's not convenient. When the time comes, you should be more proactive and give me more food, okay?" Lin Feng thought his wife was cute and funny like this. "Okay, when the time comes, give me a wink when you want to eat something, and I'll give you something." Zhang Yuxi smiled contentedly. Feng Yuang was wearing a suit and was greeting the bride. Seeing Lin Feng coming, Feng Yuang came to greet him. "You are here, come and sit here." There was no one at one table, but the dishes were served. Zhang Yuxi was happy when she saw it. Lin Feng gave Feng Yuang a red envelope. Feng Yuang refused to accept it. "No, no." Lin Feng put it directly in Feng Yuang's suit pocket. "How can you come to a wedding without giving money?" Zhou Qilin got a red envelope. Lin Jiajian's family got a red envelope. Lin Rui got a red envelope, plus Lin Feng's. There were 4 red envelopes in total, and the names were written on the back. Zhang Yuxi curiously opened them in the car, and they were all auspicious numbers, 2222. Lin Feng followed 2222, which means good things come in pairs, and there are 2 people in a lifetime. With so many people watching, he should be reserved. So, Zhang Yuxi ate elegantly. While winking at Lin Feng, "Hubby, I want to eat crispy meat." Looking at the steaming crispy meat that had just been served, Zhang Yuxi was greedy. At this time, several more people came and were also arranged at this table. Now, Zhang Yuxi couldn't eat freely. The auntie was from the countryside and spoke directly. "Wow, you are so beautiful." Zhang Yuxi was shy all of a sudden. "Thank you, Grandma." In the countryside, people call the elderly Grandma, or Grandma or something like that. The old lady looked at Lin Feng again. "You are also handsome." Lin Feng smiled and said, "Grandma, how old are you this year? You look so energetic." "I'm 78 years old." "Really? I can't tell at all. You look so good." Lin Feng is good looking and good at talking, which makes the old lady very happy. A middle-aged couple came together, and there was a child, about 7 or 8 years old. The old lady smiled and said, "You city people rarely eat this kind of buffet. It tastes good. Hurry up and eat." Zhang Yuxi smiled. Lin Feng glanced at Zhang Yuxi and looked in the direction of his sight. He knew which dish it was. "Serve it." After a while, a newlywed couple came to toast. Zhang Yuxi couldn't help but feel envious when she saw the bride in her wedding dress. She said seriously, "You look so beautiful today." The bride was a little shy to be praised by such a beautiful woman. "Thank you." They ate for the whole morning. The couple ate very well. Before leaving, the old lady at the same table asked them to pack the crispy meat with paper and take the fried dried fish back with them. She also said, "These things are very fragrant, you city people can't eat them." At the end, she stuffed the wedding candy and melon seeds into their pockets, not to mention how enthusiastic they were. Suddenly, the couple was like a child. On the way back, they couldn't help but think of their grandmother. If their grandmother was still alive, she would definitely be so kind. Lin Feng said, "When I was a child, my grandmother would also pack up delicious food when she went to a wedding banquet." Zhang Yuxi wanted to know about Lin Feng's past. However, this topic was not easy to bring up. She said, "My memory of Grandma is very vague. The only thing that I remember vividly is that on the day Grandma died, I stood at the door of the hospital and saw her pale face." After so many years, she can still clearly recall that pale face. But she was not afraid at all. When she got home, the children were taking a nap. Joe Killen was doing housework and organizing the children's toys. Zhang Yuxi went to help. Joe Killen waved her hand. No, I'll be done soon, you can take a rest." Zhang Yuxi was embarrassed to take a rest. "Mom, I'll do the last bit, you can take a rest." Seeing Zhang Yuxi's insistence, Joe Killen said nothing more. Lin Feng said mysteriously, "Mom, come here, I have a treasure for you." Joe Killen became interested. "What treasure? Let me see." Lin Feng took out a plastic bag from his pocket. Joe Killen was also a worldly person, and she smiled immediately. It seemed that she had guessed something. Lin Feng handed her the bag of cooked food. "Here, this is what we brought you for the wedding banquet, try it." Joe Killen opened the bag, and inside were melon seeds, peanuts, crispy meat, dried fish, and dried sweet potatoes. She smiled and recalled, "I haven't eaten this for many years, and now it is really a treasure." The crispy meat was already cold and hard, and the dried fish was no longer crispy. But it still tasted very good. "Leave this for your dad to eat, and let your dad taste it too." As he was talking, Sibayo's voice came from upstairs, and the little guys woke up. Joe Killen quickly packed up the things and found a place to hide. Lin Feng looked puzzled. "Mom, what are you doing?" That look was like guarding against thieves. After Joe Killen hid it, she smiled and said, "If Sibayo knew about this, it would be terrible." The couple knew that something must have happened after they left. Joe Killen said as she went upstairs, "Did I make wine this summer? I don't know how Sibayo's nose got so long. I took a sip while they were having fun. Then he ran over and asked me what I was eating. I said it was wine, but Sibayo didn't believe me and went to find it himself. I don't know how he found the smell, and he really found it. He kept clamoring to drink a sip, but I didn't dare. I dipped a little with chopsticks and gave it to him to taste. I made wine late this year, so it doesn't taste like much wine." Sibayo got addicted to it once he tasted it, begging and asking for it. I gave him a few sips, and he was so happy after drinking it. Dabayo joined in the fun, so I couldn't not give Erbayo and Sanbayo some. Sibeo was dreaming that he wanted to drink it. So I hid it while he was asleep. The couple had seen Sibeo's ability as a foodie, but the fact that he could smell the wine was a bit exaggerated. But it turned out that they had greatly underestimated the potential of a foodie. Chapter 307 Dujin's Circle of Friends. When Juggling was talking to Sibeo, Sibeo suddenly became energetic, his eyes were shining. He sniffed at Juggling's mouth and said with certainty, "Grandma, what did you eat? It smells so good, can you give Sibeo some too?" Juggling immediately shouted that it was bad. "Oh, I forgot to brush my teeth. Now it's good, the little guy has caught me." Juggling started to act at this time. "Grandma didn't eat anything. Didn't I have dinner with you today? But I didn't eat secretly." Even with the most exquisite acting skills, for Sibeo, he only speaks with facts. Sibeo shook his head and said with certainty, "This is the smell of meat and fish, the baby smelled it." Juggling and others were shocked. This is not only a dog nose, but also has the function of detection and analysis? Urbeo, who is always joining in the fun, said quickly. Urbeo also wants to eat meat, meat. Dabeo also said, "Meat, eat meat." Ouch, my brain hurts so much. Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi had no intention of helping Juggling out. Juggling would not let them do what they wanted and was determined to drag them into the water. "If you don't believe me, ask your parents and ask if Grandma lied to you." Lin Feng looked innocent. "Mom, I just came back, I don't know anything." He glanced at Zhang Yuxi, "Is that right?" With her husband as a backer, Zhang Yuxi also said, "Yes, Mom, we just came back, we don't know anything." Juggling never expected that one day her son and daughter-in-law would come to trick her. Juggling burped and felt a little confused. The foodie Sibeo, the fun-loving Urbeo, and the good-for-nothing Dabeo. They were all waiting to eat meat. Sanbeo yawned and said softly, "Grandma, Sanbeo wants to eat too." Juggling had no choice but to find snacks in the kitchen after she had cleaned up the babies. This was dried fruit, and the babies ate it. It was mainly Sibeo who ate it and didn't say anything. Juggling thought she had gotten away with it. But she never expected that it was a fart. Sibeo finished eating and said immediately, "Grandma, this is not meat. I want to eat meat." Juggling was so shocked. Seeing her son watching the show and her daughter-in-law who was a little embarrassed and trying not to laugh, Juggling resigned herself to taking out the crispy meat and dried fish. There were still 4 pieces of crispy meat and 6 dried fish left. Lin Feng stood up, "Mom, let me do it." He got 2 pieces of crispy meat and 3 dried fish to steam for the babies. The dried fish was fried very crispy, and the fish bones were fried crispy. It's no problem for the babies to eat. Watching the babies eat, Juggling asked Sibeo. "Sibeo, this is the taste now, right?" Sibeo nodded, "That's the taste. Grandma, you just lied to me and said you didn't eat it." Juggling was a little embarrassed. "I just wanted to give you a surprise. Alice, it's really getting harder and harder to fool children nowadays." Sibeo went to play happily, and Juggling patted her son. "You little bastard, now you know how to trick your mother." Lin Feng said quickly, "No, I was just joking." Juggling snorted, "Is the bride pretty? Are there many banquets?" "The bride is definitely not as pretty as your daughter-in-law, but there are quite a lot of banquets." Juggling didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "When did you become so shameless, kid?" "Then Mom, tell me, is your daughter-in-law pretty?" Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This may be it. No matter how old the child is, he will always be like a child in the eyes of his parents. And when they face their parents, they will also show their childish side. At night, Lin Dashin was lying on the bed, preparing to rest. Juggling suddenly thought of something. "Don't go to sleep yet, wait for me." As she said that, she hurried downstairs and then entered the house. She smiled mysteriously and held something in her hand. Lin Dashin sat up. "What is this?" Juggling smiled. "Guess." "Go ahead, how can I guess it?" "Come on, let me give you a smell." Smelling it, Lin Dashin was a little bit unbelieving, but still asked, "Is this crispy meat?" After all, his nose was fine and there was no problem for the time being. Juggling opened it with a smile, and there were 2 pieces of crispy meat and 3 small dried fish. "Congratulations, the answer is correct." Lin Dashin felt like he was screwed. That expression was quite wonderful. He rolled his eyes at Juggling. "Do you have cat biscuits? What's the surprise here? You make it look like a treasure." He waited for nothing. Juggling glared at him. You know shit. I finally escaped from the jaws of death. Lin Dashan heard the hidden meaning in her words. What do you mean? 10 minutes later, Lin Dashan couldn't stop laughing. Oh, our 4 treasures are so amazing. He took the cold crispy meat in his hand and ate it, thinking it was so delicious. It's not easy to get food from the 4 treasures. Before, Lin Feng was at home, studying the recipes of the babies every day. They ate in different ways every day and never felt hungry. After Lin Feng came back, although he also cooked for them, but they felt that they were never full, looking for food in the kitchen every day. Moreover, they were addicted to it. The next day, Lin Feng bought small fish, very small. He washed them one by one, cut off the fins, etc., and decided to fry them, and then steam them for the babies. He also fried crispy meat for them, which can be eaten directly. Each person can only eat 3 of each, and the rest are for adults. The babies have no objection. As long as daddy makes delicious food for them every day, it will be fine. 2 days later, they returned to Yangchang. The babies were reluctant to leave, and Lin Dashan's eyes were red. After returning to Yangchang, Lin Feng asked Liu Bowen and Lan to have a meal. Liu Bowen and Lan have become friends recently because they are busy in the store. They usually go out to eat or something. After dinner, and Lan yawned, I'll sleep at your house tonight. After the new year, business is no longer busy. She can also take a good breath. Lin Feng went upstairs to coax the child to sleep, and Lan pulled Zhang Yuxi to chat about gossip. Most of them are about the Lin family. And Lan smiled at people like Lin Xiaolin. By the way, have you seen the circle of friends I posted about Dujin? No. Sister, pay more attention to your bestie, okay? And Lan then smiled. Come, sister will show you something good. Seeing that she smiled so badly, there must be something good. And Lan found the circle of friends about Dujin's marriage, and it was written. Some people, in order to Photoshop, they also work hard. The comparison is Dujin's refined picture and the raw picture. The change is not ordinary. Dujin used to be very beautiful and had a good figure. But along with the pregnancy, the whole body was swollen. Now it is more swollen than before. And Lan was puzzled. You said, you are also giving birth to a child, why is there such a big change? Not only did you not gain weight, but your figure recovered so well, how did you do it? Zhang Yuxi didn't know. Wow. When I was pregnant, my belly was fat. After giving birth, I didn't do any special recovery. Taking care of 4 children every day, I am exhausted every day. I guess this is the reason why I am thin. Chapter 308. The wedding will be held in summer. In a blink of an eye, school started. Zhang Yuxi's busy day began again. Lin Feng took the babies to the early childhood education class. Everything seemed to have returned to the beginning. The only thing that remained unchanged was that Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi's wedding would be held in the summer. For this, he deliberately found Lan to ask in a roundabout way. And Lan smiled. Mr. Lin, do you have a red envelope? Lin Feng smiled and said, yes, but it depends on how you do it. Don't worry, leave it to me. Lin Feng knew that Zhang Yuxi liked Prince Charming, she liked white wedding dresses and so on. After school started, he was planning this. The babies will be 2 years old on August 8th. He planned to make this day their real wedding anniversary. So, everything had to be carried out in full swing. He wanted to give Zhang Yuxi a surprise. Exclamation mark. The time has been determined, the wedding on August 8th. What about the address? There are also Zhang Yuxi's wedding dress, jewelry and so on. Every girl's wedding is worth remembering. Lin Feng wants to give Zhang Yuxi an unforgettable wedding. Raymond Lam didn't know much about wedding dresses, so he could only look it up online. In the end, he chose the brand Pro. It's a synonym for elegance, nobility, beauty, and luxury. It fits Zhang Yuxi's image and temperament very well. In today's society, as long as you have money, it's easy to get things done. Raymond Lam chose 3 wedding dresses. Customization requires measuring the size, so he had to think of a way. Raymond Lam quickly thought of a new way. First, he talked to Joe Killen, and then found the right time to show his acting skills. That night, Zhang Yuxi came out of the bathroom with Raymond Lam holding a tape measure in his hand. Honey, what are you doing? Mom is going to make a cheongsam this year, so she asked me to send her your size. Zhang Yuxi said, then measure it. She never doubted Raymond Lam's words. Except for one thing. Lin Feng gestured, how can I measure it like this? Zhang Yuxi reacted, "Oh, wait a minute, husband, I'll go." Lin Feng grabbed her hand, "No need." Zhang Yuxi immediately doubted Lin Feng's purpose. "Husband, are you lying to me?" "No. I suspect you are." Lin Feng pretended to be helpless and took out the chat records in his mobile phone. "Look, this is the chat record between me and my mother." Zhang Yuxi took it and looked at it half doubtfully. The chat record showed that it was after 1 o'clock this afternoon. The content was the same as what Lin Feng said. Zhang Yuxi pursed her lips. "Well, husband. I just feel." Lin Feng said lightly, "I don't want you to feel, I want me to feel." Zhang Yuxi hesitated for a long time. "Husband." Still making the last resistance, Lin Feng said seriously, "Wife, sometimes don't think about your husband like this." Because Lin Feng was too serious, Zhang Yuxi began to reflect on herself. Soon, she felt that, in some things, he was a complete liar. The next day, Lin Feng sent the data in the form of an email. The next thing was jewelry. With money, it is easy to get things done. Customized models can be made at very attractive prices. Lin Feng chose the ready-made model under Lan's suggestion. Shoes are also easy to buy. But Lin Feng has not decided on the wedding venue yet. School started in March and it was May in a blink of an eye. The long vacation was hot again, and he didn't even go back to Michang because the babies were learning to swim. The babies who are almost 2 years old look like they are 3 years old. They are all white, plump and strong. Little Zhang Chenchen is going to learn to swim. Lin Feng thought about it and decided to arrange training classes for the 4 babies. The same training class as Zhang Chenchen. If they are the same age, people will believe it. Even Zhang Chenchen's father was surprised and asked with envy, "Mr. Lin, what do you feed the babies? They are growing so well." Lin Feng wondered if it was because of the nutrient solution before. In addition to taking care of the baby's diet and daily life, he didn't pay special attention to it. But he also found that the babies did grow faster than other children. "I didn't eat anything, I just made some nutritional combinations." Seeing that Zhang Chenchen's father was hesitant to speak, Lin Feng said, "I'll write you a recipe later, which is what the babies often eat." Zhang Chenchen's father was very happy. "Thank you, Mr. Lin." After Pan Lei was promoted in the hotel, the task of taking care of the children fell on Jiwang's father. From not knowing how to do it at the beginning to learning it little by little, now there is no pressure to take care of the children. After the child goes to elementary school in September, he will find a job. He can take care of the children and earn some living expenses at the same time. If it were before, he would definitely have some ideas in his mind, but now with Lin Feng's example, he thinks it is normal for men to take care of children. One thing is that he is quite insecure. His wife is becoming more and more beautiful and confident day by day, so he is a little panicked. The training class is opened by the gym and recruits children over 2 years old. 10 classes cost 4,000 yuan, guaranteed to learn. Zhang Chenchen has already taken a class and feels that the teacher teaches well. He is careful and gentle. It was 2:30 in the afternoon when Lin Feng took the babies there. It is an open-air swimming pool, not heated, and the weather is hot in the afternoon. Therefore, the classes for the younger babies are arranged in the afternoon. Lin Feng brought the babies to the front desk. A staff member immediately greeted them and learned that it was a class for quadruplets. At that moment, each baby was short of 200 yuan, making up 1,000 yuan. Lin Feng asked, "Guaranteed to teach?" Seeing Lin Feng's extraordinary demeanor, the receptionist did not dare to neglect him and told him the truth. "What we mean by guaranteed to teach is that a baby can swim alone without the help of back floats, etc. If it reaches that level, it will be difficult to do. One is that the babies are young after all, and the other is that there are 10 classes. But you parents can rest assured. Although it is only 10 classes, if you don't learn it after the class, our teachers will let you follow the class." After introducing it, Lin Feng applied for cards for the babies and bought goggles, swimming caps, swimming trunks, etc. Go directly to the class. Outside the open-air swimming pool, this group of students who passed 2 o'clock were taking classes. Doing the breathing and leg kicking action is actually just a simple breaststroke. Dabao is afraid of water, but he is not very afraid when playing. So, this is very contradictory. As soon as Dabao saw such a big pool, he refused to do it. Lin Feng did not force him and let him play aside. It was the first time for the coach to see quadruplets. They were all so cute and he had learned a lot. The coach was a man with 4 abdominal muscles. He was not ugly and had a lot of charm. He looked at Dabao and asked Lin Feng, "What's the situation with that little kid?" After learning about the situation, the coach expressed his understanding and said, "Take your time, don't rush." The babies cooperated with the coach very well. To them, the coach was the teacher. The children in this class were all between 2 and 3 years old, and there were currently 5 children. Parents and mothers, except Zhang Yuxi's father. They sat under the parasol, fanning themselves, wearing sunglasses, and looked at Lin Feng. They whispered about this extremely handsome man. When they learned that he was the father of quadruplets, there were only 2 words in their hearts: wow! He is so fertile, and his mother is also an amazing person. The babies cooperated very well, and they looked at the pool eagerly, wishing they could quickly choose to play. The reception staff told the coach that this class was just a trial class and the formal class would start next time. So, after the babies learned it in a very realistic way for a while, they carried it on their backs and floated into the water. Sibao has always been fearless, and the coach took him into the water. Sibao giggled, "What fun!" and splashed around in the water. Chapter 309, The Wife Asserts Her Sovereignty. Sibao was wearing a floral swimsuit and skirt, and she stamped her feet anxiously. "Wait for me. Wait for me." The coach swam over and carried Sibao into the water. As soon as he touched the water, Sibao immediately swam towards Sibao like a dog paddle. "Here I come. Ha ha ha, so fun." Sibao looked expectant, and after entering the water, he learned to swim in a very realistic way. "Dad, it's so comfortable, can you come too?" Lin Feng knew how to swim, but he had never learned it properly, so he could do it by himself after entering the water. He shook his head, "No, you guys play by yourselves." Dabao was a little tempted, and the coach carried him into the water. He was like a little turtle, slowly floating on the water, occasionally flapping his wings. But soon, he returned to the shore. No matter what, he would not enter the water. Sibao waved, "Brother, come down and play with us." Sibao swam to the edge of the pool, looked up and said, "Brother, it's so fun, let's play together." Dabao shook his head, "I don't want to play anymore." He said he didn't want to play, but his eyes were staring straight at him, and he really wanted to play. Lin Feng recalled that Dabao is much better at taking a bath now than before. "In the past, we went to the water park and had fun, and we didn't feel scared anymore." The one standing next to Dabao encouraged him. "Don't be afraid, there are so many coaches. Your dad is here too, they will protect you. Boys, be braver. Give it a try and see if you can do it." After the children on Zhang Yuxi's side finished their preparations, they went into the water to practice. Their first move was to paddle with their arms and straighten their legs together. Dabao watched and began to envy again. He likes playing games, but he doesn't like water. Lin Feng asked distressedly, walked over and whispered, "Dabao, why don't you let Daddy go into the water with you?" Dabao was stunned for a moment. Lin Feng said, "You hold Daddy, we go into the water together, Daddy is here, he will protect you, don't be afraid." Dabao was tangled. Lin Feng encouraged him, "Daddy will hold you and won't let go. When you ask Daddy to let go, Daddy will let go, okay?" Dabao was moved by this sentence. "Then Daddy, don't let go." Lin Feng was delighted, "Okay, Daddy will accompany you." He went to buy swimming trunks, a swimming cap, and goggles. Carrying the 4th child over, the mothers on the side couldn't help but scream in their hearts. Damn, 1, 2, 3, 8 faintly visible abdominal muscles. Lin Feng occasionally works out, and with his cleansing, his figure is just right. He is not all muscle like a fitness coach, nor is he too thin. Lin Feng has a very good-looking figure, and the cleansing has changed the shortcomings and deficiencies of his figure. Seeing it, it makes women bleed from the nose, and Pian can't help but appear in their minds. Lin Feng hugged Dabao, "Come, hold Daddy tight, we'll go down together." Dabao was wrapped around Lin Feng's chest, and his little face changed color. "Dad." Lin Feng comforted him and kept comforting and hypnotizing him in his ears. "Don't be afraid, Daddy is here, and Daddy will always be with you. Be good. There is a step here, and the step is anti-slip." Lin Feng held Dabao and sat down on the step. "Shall we wash our feet first?" Dabao nodded, "Okay." The water temperature felt a little cold at first, and Lin Feng played with Dabao for a while. He felt that the time was about right. "Come on, let's go a few steps forward." Dabao hesitated, "Okay." As a result, Lin Feng stepped down, and the water level reached his waist. Most of Dabao's body fell directly into the water. Dabao was so scared that he screamed, "Dad!" Lin Feng was startled by Dabao's voice and patted Dabao's little butt. "It's okay, Dad is here, Dad is here," Lin Feng said while kissing Dabao's forehead. The mothers by the swimming pool saw it and were so jealous. Look at other people's dads. Compared with your own, it's simply unbearable to look at. I had something to do today, and the child's dad looked at me for a long time. Damn, he refused to come. Dog man. Haha, if it was the guy in our family, he would throw the child into the water first. Oh. Haven't you heard that sentence? When there is danger, Dad is the backup. When there is no danger, Dad is the biggest danger. This is her man, her husband, her father. Damn, it makes me angry. The key is that she is young and handsome, and they have all those things in their home. So ordinary, but extremely confident. I don't know who gave him the confidence. Damn, it makes me so bloated. Finally, while coaxing Dabao, Lin Feng went into the water. Just when Dabao was extremely scared, he floated up. This feeling is very strange. When I thought I was going to fall into the water in the next second, I didn't expect that he actually floated up. Lin Feng was amused by his son's little expression. Surprised, surprised. He supported his son, as if telling Dabao, "You see, Dad does what he says." Dabao grabbed the exposed arm, floating happily, and said fearfully, "Dad, don't go, stay with Dabao." Dabao is scared. Dad hasn't left, he's always with you. Come on, Dad will take you to find Dabao and the others. Lin Feng was swimming while pushing Dabao. Dabao giggled and thought it was so much fun. Dad, do it again, Dabao wants more. Lin Feng pushed Dabao to play in the water, spinning and jumping with his eyes closed. With Lin Feng around, Dabao had already let go and played freely. But in the blink of an eye, if Lin Feng was not there, he would be too scared again. There was no other way, Lin Feng could only accompany him in the water. He believed that as long as he was with him, Dabao's condition would get better and better. Finally, he would completely overcome the difficulty of being afraid of water. A class lasted about an hour, and the rest of the time the children practiced on their own. Lin Feng said to Dabao, "Dabao, Daddy wants to go to the toilet, I'll let." Dabao quickly grabbed him. Dabao wants to follow Daddy. Once they went to the toilet, all the babies had to go to the toilet. Dabao hesitated for a moment and got up as well. The toilet and bathroom are together, and there are special staff. Lin Feng asked the staff to help Dabao and Dabao to pee. He took his two sons to the men's bathroom. Dabao looked wrong and was hesitant to speak. Lin Feng asked, "What's wrong, Dabao?" Dabao said in a low voice and a little overwhelmed, "Dad, I just pee in the water." Lin Feng hummed, "No, next time, tell Dad if you pee, okay?" Dabao nodded obediently. Finally, the baby's experience class ended and then went swimming. Lin Feng changed the early childhood education class to the one from 10 to 11 o'clock, which was staggered with the afternoon swimming class. 2 days ago, Dabao, who needed Lin Feng to accompany him to the water, can now go into the water by himself. When Zhang Yuxi found out, she couldn't believe it. Holding Dabao's little face, she kissed him again and again. Dabao is great. Dabao was playing with toys, looking up and laughing, a little silly. But Zhang Yuxi thought he was super awesome. Dabao had some athletic talent and was taking the same course. Dabao was far ahead and had already learned breaststroke on the third day. But the coach said it wouldn't work for breathing because Dabao was too impatient. If you don't learn to breathe well, you can't swim far. On this Saturday, Zhang Yuxi and Lin Feng came to the gym. One way to the swimming pool is through the bathroom, and the other way is through the fitness equipment. When Zhang Yuxi passed the fitness equipment, she saw the muscular brothers, who were exercising and looking at her with surprise. Zhang Yuxi was used to this kind of look from the opposite sex. What concerned her was the young ladies who already had a good figure but were very self-disciplined. One by one, they were sweating profusely on the fitness equipment. She admitted that she was jealous. Sure enough, no woman can be 18 years old forever. But there have always been 18-year-old women. When she came to the swimming pool, many people had already come to swim. There were so many babies in the pool, and Zhang Yuxi saw the 4 babies at home at a glance. Lin Feng stood by the swimming pool. His height of 1.8 meters already stood out from the crowd. Not to mention his transparent nobleness and handsome appearance. Zhang Yuxi narrowed her eyes slightly, seeing a few swimsuit ladies approaching her husband very purposefully. It seemed that they were asking for Lin Feng's contact information. She knew that Lin Feng would refuse them, but she felt uncomfortable. Husband. Zhang Yuxi walked over and took Lin Feng's arm. I'm here. She raised her chin slightly as if to claim sovereignty, and looked at the two women in front of her with cold eyes. Even if the makeup is waterproof, it is too ugly, and the color of the foundation makes her look too white. The face and neck are completely two different skin colors. Look at the figure again. Haha, she will look down on it even more, okay? What's the matter? Now that you have a little bit of figure, you want to show it off. Today, Zhang Yuxi is wearing a long dress with small floral patterns, which is elegant and refreshing. She lifted her long hair, which has a little flavor. The smiles of the two women suddenly froze on their faces, and they dodged away dejectedly. Chapter 310 Preparing for the Wedding. Lin Feng didn't expect Zhang Yuxi to come, so he put his sunglasses on her. Go sit under the parasol. We'll be done in a minute. Zhang Yuxi tied her hair into a ponytail easily without a rubber band. No, I'll stand and watch the babies. The first one to notice Zhang Yuxi was Sanbao. Mom, come down and play. Zhang Yuxi shook her head. No, Mom will watch you play. Lin Feng held her hand. There are drinks, salads, and steaks here. Do you want to eat? She wasn't hungry at first. After hearing what Lin Feng said, she felt a little hungry. She went to order 2 glasses of freshly squeezed fruit juice. The gym stipulates that you can't eat by the swimming pool. The couple drank juice on the steps while watching the babies. The coach said that parents don't need to accompany them. There are coaches patrolling the scene. But Lin Feng still felt uneasy, and every time he came, he would watch them closely. After the course, Zhang Yuxi took Bao and Sanbao to take a bath. It's only been a few days, and the babies have become darker, which is heartbreaking. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed. Except for Bao, all the babies had learned breaststroke. They could graduate if they could swim back and forth without rest. As for what Bao would learn, Lin Feng did not force it. It was the biggest achievement that Bao was no longer afraid of water. But after learning, he still needed to consolidate and practice to strengthen muscle memory. So, Lin Feng applied for a monthly pass for several children. Zhang Chenchen transferred the money to Lin Feng. Mr. Lin, I can't let you spend money. The children are all good friends, and the two families often have contact. These hundreds of yuan are nothing to Lin Feng, so he gave it to him. He didn't want to accept the money, but Zhang Chenchen's father's words changed his mind. Now the child is sensible and is about to enter the 1st grade. I don't want him to know that his father is a person who takes advantage. I don't want him to have such an idea. This child, it turns out that he is not taught so well for no reason. Lin Feng accepted the money and still took the babies to swim in the morning and went to early childhood education classes in the afternoon. In a blink of an eye, it was July. Lin Feng finally decided to book the wedding in Maldives. Next, he had to contact the hotel to confirm the number of people attending the wedding, apply for visas for them, etc. Many things were done when Zhang Yuxi was not there. This time, teacher Han Wen and Tang Ziften were also invited. This was a surprise, and confidentiality must be done well, otherwise it would be a failure. The wedding was carried out under Zhang Yuxi's eyes. On this day, husband, your phone. Lin Feng hurried over, then took the phone and left. This was not the first time. Zhang Yuxi was a little surprised, but still believed in Lin Feng. But one night, Zhang Yuxi found that Lin Feng was not in bed, but in the study room on the phone. Okay, I will prepare the roses, she will like it. Goodbye. Zhang Yuxi was so scared that she trembled all over and hurried back to the room to pretend to sleep. After a long time, Lin Feng came in. Zhang Yuxi pretended to wake up. Husband? Where did you go? Lin Feng smiled faintly. I went downstairs to have a glass of water. Oh. That night, Zhang Yuxi dreamed that Lin Feng abandoned her. That feeling was too real. I woke up and found myself crying. Wife? What did you dream about? Lin Feng asked in surprise. Zhang Yuxi stared at Lin Feng blankly. Thinking back to that dream, she felt very sad. She cried with a wow. Lin Feng was startled. What's wrong? Why are you crying? Zhang Yuxi hugged him. I had a dream. I dreamed that you didn't love me anymore. Lin Feng was a little amused. No, my husband will love you forever. Zhang Yuxi raised her tearful face. Really? Lin Feng wiped her tears. Silly, of course it's true. She said tremblingly, husband, I love you so much, if you don't love me anymore, my world will collapse. Lin Feng held her in his arms and coaxed her softly. No, you see we still have babies, my husband loves them and loves you more. Zhang Yuxi sobbed, and Lin Feng coaxed her for a long time before she fell asleep in a daze. Lin Feng sighed, feeling distressed and helpless. The next day, Zhang Yuxi had forgotten what happened last night. She woke up and found her eyes were swollen, and she was shocked. Honey, what happened to me? Lin Feng quickly boiled eggs and rolled them for her. It must be a mosquito bite. Zhang Yuxi was surprised. Mosquito bite. Lin Feng saw that she really believed it. You forgot it. Zhang Yuxi shook her head, confused. What did I forget? Was it a mosquito bite? Lin Feng was a little amused. Don't talk, close your eyes, and roll them again. After rolling, it was much better. But it was still very obvious. After Zhang Yuxi searched the drawer for a while, she took out her black-rimmed glasses and put them on. Honey, it's not obvious now, right? Lin Feng glanced and said meaningfully, I think it's better to wait until the swelling is gone before going to class. Zhang Yuxi was stunned. Why? She ran over to take a look and thought it was pretty good. When she came out, Lin Feng had already started to ask for leave for her, which made Zhang Yuxi a little confused. Lin Feng glanced at the babies who were still playing and waved for her to come over. Zhang Yuxi came over curiously. Lin Feng whispered a few words in her ear, and Zhang Yuxi's face instantly turned red. Really? Lin Feng nodded. I'm a man, what do you think? Zhang Yuxi's outfit really looks like this. Zhang Yuxi hesitated. Well, then I'll go back and change. Lin Feng winked at his little helper Dabe. Then he went upstairs. I'll go get some purple herb for the babies. Purple herb is very effective in getting rid of red buttocks. Dabeo is chubby and sweats easily when playing, and sometimes his armpits get red. Using purple herb is very effective. After Zhang Yuxi entered the room, she saw Lin Feng was there too, so she waited for a while. Husband, aren't you going out? What for? She was confused in other places, but she was smart in some places. Husband, you go out. Alice, my wife is getting smarter and smarter, what should I do? It doesn't matter, it can't change the direction of things anyway. After Lin Feng went downstairs, Erbeo asked, Dad, where's Mom? Lin Feng said with satisfaction, Mom is sleeping. Erbeo, please don't disturb Mom's rest, okay? Erbeo said obediently, okay, then Dad will play with Erbeo. No problem. In the afternoon, Zhang Yuxi's eyes were no longer swollen, and she packed up to go to class. When she left, she glared at Lin Feng. Come on, honey, this is snow pear water, drink some. Zhang Yuxi's expression eased for a moment. The next second, she heard Lin Feng say, moisten your throat. Zhang Yuxi was so angry that she didn't want to drink it anymore. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 311, Proposal Operation. In a blink of an eye, it was August 5th. Raymond Lam had laid the groundwork many times before. This time, it was the baby's birthday, so he would find an opportunity to go abroad. Zhang Yuxi had no objection. In the evening, she sent a message to Lan. Her tone was low. And Lan, I'm not happy. Oh, it's really hard for you. Why are you unhappy? Raymond Lam said last year that we would plan our wedding when the babies were 2 years old. Oh, and then what? No news? I want to ask, but I'm embarrassed. Oh, then don't ask. It must be that Mr. Lin was too busy and forgot. Yeah, I think so too. He is so tired taking care of the children all day. Since it's tiring, let's go abroad as a family to relax. And Lan, you have changed. You didn't speak so politely before. Maybe it's because I'm no longer a single dog. What? You have a boyfriend? Yes. I'll introduce you to someone someday. I guarantee you'll be surprised. Haha. As expected, I value love over friendship. You are paralyzed, don't think about it all day, it's just a wedding, let's talk about it after we come back from the trip. It feels like that, you are still the woman I like. Damn. It was not until she arrived at the airport that Zhang Yuxi knew that she was going to the Maldives. She and Lan had been to the Maldives before, but they hadn't been there for many years. After a lot of trouble, they got on a speedboat. Then, there was a scene that the babies, including Zhang Yuxi, would never forget. What caught her eye was the scenery of the sea and the sky, which was so beautiful that it was indescribable. The clear blue sky, the clear blue sea, and the sea breeze made Zhang Yuxi's heart surge. The babies screamed excitedly and were protected by the staff. Zhang Yuxi said longingly, "Husband, I want to float on the sea like this for the rest of my life. The scenery here is so beautiful, so beautiful." This kind of beauty was not what she had seen in the Maldives before. After getting on the island, Zhang Yuxi didn't want to move at all. The sand and scenery here are so beautiful. The babies also like it very much, playing on the sand. Lin Feng took Zhang Yuxi to the room, a bedroom. Exclamation mark. It is about 100 square meters, but the beach outside is very large, even larger than the area of the house. Lin Feng packed up his things, and Zhang Yuxi and the children played on the beach outside. "Mom, I think I saw my godmother." "Where?" "There." Looking in the direction pointed by Sibeo, there was nothing. Zhang Yuxi laughed. "Sibeo, you must have seen it wrong. The godmother is in Yangchang. Come on, let's continue playing." Sibeo frowned, "But I really saw her." Oh. At this time, Lin Feng came out. Zhang Yuxi smiled and said, "Husband, Sibeo just told me that he saw Enlan." Lin Feng smiled, "Maybe he saw it wrong." "Wife, come here, I have something to tell you." Zhang Yuxi and Lin Feng walked away from the babies, facing the sea breeze, and asked with a smile, "What?" Lin Feng looked at her with a focused expression. Zhang Yuxi's heartbeat suddenly accelerated. "Husband, you, don't look at me like that." He took out a box from his pocket and knelt on one knee. Zhang Yuxi was startled and exclaimed with her hands covering her mouth. Lin Feng opened the box, and inside was a very beautiful diamond ring that shone brightly in the sun. His handsome face was smiling gently, and he asked affectionately, "Yuxi, will you marry me?" Zhang Yuxi had never expected that Lin Feng would propose at this time. It seemed that he had been ready for a long time. Her eyes were red, she nodded, and slowly stretched out her hand. "I do. I do." Lin Feng took out the ring, put it on her middle finger, and kissed the back of her hand. After standing up, Zhang Yuxi threw herself into his arms. "Husband, I love you." Lin Feng said with a smile, "I love you too." Zhang Yuxi had no idea. This scene had been photographed by someone hiding in the dark, and after taking the photo, they went back secretly. Late at night. While Zhang Yuxi and the babies were sleeping, a group of people had already started preparing for the wedding scene overnight. Zhang Yuxi's wedding dress was also sent to the cloakroom. Everything was ready. After Zhang Yuxi got up, the wedding officially began. Zhang Yuxi slept and slept. The babies got up, but she was still sleeping. Lin Feng packed up the babies and took them to another room. Godmother, Grandma, Grandpa, Grandma, Grandpa. They were all waiting in the room. Lin Feng said, "I'll leave it to you here." And Lan and Han Wen, who were dressed as bridesmaids, smiled slightly. "Don't worry, Mr. Lin. I'll take care of this." After saying that, the two smiled and left and went to Zhang Yuxi's room. Lin Feng's best men were Liu Bo and Zioji, both very handsome guys. The shooting team and the planning team were all ready. Zhang Yuxi's makeup team was also waiting for a long time. "Come, let Grandma change new clothes for our babies, okay?" The babies had no objection and went happily. Looking at Zhang Yuxi, who was still sleeping soundly on the bed, Lan taunted mercilessly. "She's sleeping like a pig. Do you think we should wake her up?" Teacher Han Wen looked at the time and had been waiting for 5 minutes. "Wake her up." Lan walked over, grabbed Zhang Yuxi and shook her violently. "Zhang Yuxi, stop sleeping, wake up." Zhang Yuxi opened her eyes dazedly and frowned. "Beauty, who are you?" Lan was delighted and said with a smile, "I'm your uncle." This tone sounded very much like someone. Zhang Yuxi took a closer look. "It's not very much like, it's exactly like that, okay?" She was completely confused. "Lan, why are you here?" "Hey, Han Wen. You're here too." Lan couldn't help but complain. "Yuxi, I admire you so much, you can sleep so well." Zhang Yuxi groaned. "Is this the problem now?" Lan shouted at the door, "Okay, you can start." Zhang Yuxi was stunned for a moment. "Start what?" Lan gave her A lewd smile, you'll know in a while. Da-da-da-da, 3 women in white clothes came in, carried Zhang Yuxi and left. Zhang Yuxi lay in the bathing shed with a confused look on her face. The women, some sprinkled flower petals, some washed her hair, and some did skincare. Zhang Yuxi was confused. What was going on? After scattering flower petals, they did a manicure for Zhang Yuxi, and took good care of her hands and feet. Ah, what are you doing? After a while, Zhang Yuxi's terrified cry came, and Lan outside the door looked excited. But she has seen the world. About 20 minutes later, Zhang Yuxi was fished out of the bathtub, blushing. Han Wen and Lan watched together. They also commented on her. Zhang Yuxi couldn't help cursing. Lan, you bastard, what do you want to do? What tricks are you playing? Lan leaned against the door and smiled. You'll know in a while. The 3 women left. Next came the second wave of people, which made Zhang Yuxi nervous immediately. Make up for her, do her hair, and do her manicure. All of this was done in half an hour. Lan and Han Wen on the side looked at several large boxes of cosmetics and tools, and their eyes were about to pop out. Not only are there many tools, but the skincare products are all brands such as Estee Lauder, Lancome, and Highland. After applying a lot of makeup on Zhang Yuxi's face, the exquisite makeup was so beautiful that she cried. It's worthy of being a team that makes up for celebrities. It's different. Zhang Yuxi opened her eyes and was stunned by the beautiful woman in the mirror. Who is this, so beautiful? When Zhang Yuxi started to put on makeup, the professional photography team had already started to follow. One group was on Raymond Lam's side, and one group was on Zhang Yuxi's side. Then, it was time to change into a wedding dress. A breathtakingly beautiful wedding dress suddenly appeared, and Zhang Yuxi immediately understood everything. She covered her mouth and her eyes were red. Lan said quickly, "Stop crying, your bridal makeup is worth tens of thousands." Zhang Yuxi was so scared that she quickly held back her tears, but she still wanted to cry. She just stared at the wedding dress with wide eyes. After putting it on, when Zhang Yuxi appeared again, she was so beautiful and flawless. But Lan burst into tears. "Yuxi, you are so beautiful. Really, really super beautiful. Just like a fairy." Han Wen handed her a tissue. "Don't cry, you are the bridesmaid today." Lan nodded with tears in her eyes, walked forward to hug Zhang Yuxi, and then let go. She began to check whether her foundation was rubbed on the wedding dress. For the sake of beauty, she also applied foundation on her neck. How could she let her best friend's wedding dress be stained with other things? After putting on the wedding dress, it is time to put on jewelry. This is the third group of people, carrying a box in their hands. After opening it, it is a jewelry box. Inside is the princess's laurel wreath, earrings, necklace, and bracelet. This is a set, very beautiful. Zhang Yuxi fell in love with it at first sight. The staff put it on for her and said with a smile, "Blessings to you." Zhang Yuxi smiled and said, "Thank you." The self in the mirror was perfect. Lan looked at her carefully. "Yuxi, come, let's take a few pictures." After taking several pictures crazily, Lan choked up and said, "Yuxi, blessings to you." Zhang Yuxi nodded, "Thank you." Lan called, "Over there, we are ready." The next step was to leave the room and rush to the wedding scene. Zhang Yuxi was nervous and uneasy, and her palms were sweating. "Lan, am I beautiful now?" Lan saw her nervousness and rolled her eyes. "Nonsense, is there any need to say that? You today will definitely make Mr. Lin never forget it for the rest of his life." Han Wen smiled and said, "Yuxi, you are so beautiful today, more beautiful than ever." Chapter 312 Wife, you are so beautiful. Zhang Yuxi covered her mouth. "I thought he forgot about the wedding. I was still complaining yesterday, but I didn't expect him to spend so much time on it." Lan smiled and said, "He has been preparing for several months, just to give you a surprise." "Damn, is there still such a man? Can I give her one?" She is not the only one who is envious. Han Wen is also extremely envious. The wedding scene is beautifully decorated, coupled with such a charming scenery. It is so beautiful that it makes people cry. Under the arched flowered door made of white roses, Lin Feng, wearing a fashionable suit, stood opposite, smiling as he walked over. Zhang Fuiong was also wearing a formal suit, and Zhang Yuxi took his arm. The babies were dressed as flower girls. The boys wore tailor-made suits, and the girls wore white gauze skirts. Walking along the way, scattering flowers along the way, smiling as cutely as possible. Accompanied by the wedding march, Zhang Yuxi took Zhang Fuiyong's hand and slowly walked towards Lin Feng. The guests on both sides cast their blessing eyes, but in her eyes, there was only Lin Feng. This road is long, but also short. When she came to Lin Feng, she couldn't hear what the old man in a white gown on the stage said. At this moment, she seemed to be standing on the clouds. However, when Lin Feng read the oath, he pulled her back. Lin Feng looked at Zhang Yuxi, and after adjusting his emotions, he slowly said, I prepared a lot of words to say to you, but when you stood in front of me, I found that my mind was blank. I can't think of words to describe my feelings at this moment, except excitement and happiness. It is my greatest luck in this life that I can meet you and accompany you hand in hand. If there is no you, no baby, there will be no such Lin Feng. Zhang Yuxi threw herself into his arms, hugged him, and tried not to let tears fall. She wanted to be the most beautiful bride today. Makeup can't be ruined. Next, exchange rings and throw bouquets. At the scene, Anlan and Han Wen were the most active, and Tang Zifan was also among them. In the end, Anlan squeezed Han Wen away, jumped higher than Tang Zifan, and successfully caught a bouquet. She glanced at Liu Bo. Liu Bo smiled at her with a look of expectation. She held the flowers and laughed, not because she was looking forward to getting married. Instead, she wanted to share in her bestie's joy and hoped that she would have a sweet love. Lin Feng ordered 4 wedding dresses, each of which was handmade and expensive. The second one was red, a bit like a cheongsam, elegant and charming. Lin Feng and she raised their glasses and toasted at each table. Today was her wedding, and she must not go home until she was drunk. Zhao Lizian saw her daughter's happy face and was happy for her. Yuxi, you must be happy forever. Zhang Yuxi nodded with a sob. Yes, Mom, we will be happy forever. Zhang Fuiyong clinked glasses with Lin Feng and said with a stern face, I am now officially handing my daughter over to you. You must treat her well. If you dare to let her down or bully her, I will never let you go. Lin Feng quickly said, Dad, no, I will definitely treat Yuxi well. Zhang Fuiyong nodded with satisfaction. Okay, I'm watching you. They are extremely satisfied that their daughter can find a good man like Lin Feng. Zhang Yuxi snuggled up to Lin Feng, smiling happily and contentedly. Then they toasted Lin Dashan and his wife. Lin Dashan said with a smile, Son, you are doing very well. I hope you will keep working hard to keep it up. Be responsible for your wife and children, and for this family. Zhou Qilin took Zhang Yuxi and said, Yuxi, if Lin Feng bullies you in the future, tell Mom and I will deal with him. Zhang Yuxi nodded, he won't bully me. Everyone toasted and gave their blessings one by one. Zhang Yuxi didn't know how much she drank. Lin Feng was a little worried about her. Wife, are you okay? At this time, Zhang Yuxi was already dizzy and couldn't pronounce clearly. I'm fine. Very good. Lin Feng. Zhang Yuxi handed over a glass of red wine. Husband, come, let's drink a cup of wine. Lin Feng took the wine in her hand and gave himself half. Zhang Yuxi didn't notice it, but just looked at Lin Feng with an obsessed face. Hubby, you are so handsome. I really want to hide you at home. Don't let other women find out. Lin Feng knew what she meant, but still pretended not to know and asked. Why? Zhang Yuxi already had a childish tone. Because you are too handsome, many people want to snatch you from me. If you leave with them, what will happen to me and the baby? What should I do? Lin Feng handed the red wine to her. Zhang Yuxi asked in surprise, what for? Obviously she had forgotten about drinking the wedding wine. Lin Feng wanted to take the wine glass back when she was confused, but Zhang Yuxi took it away. Come on, let's drink the wedding wine. According to Zhang Yuxi's request, the two drank the wedding wine, and Zhang Yuxi chuckled. Lin Feng knew that she was drunk, and turned to the guests and said, Yuxi is drunk, I will send her back to the room to rest first. And Lan said quickly, take good care of Yuxi, we don't need you to entertain us here. What a pity, I can't make a fuss in the bridal chamber, what a pity. Lin Feng directly gave Zhang Yuxi a princess hug, and Zhang Yuxi hugged him, feeling dizzy. Hubby. Lin Feng looked down at her, She said sweetly and excitedly, this is the first time you hugged me like a princess, Lin Feng thought about it, and it seemed to be true. Zhang Yuxi smiled sweetly, I'm so happy. Princess hug, I believe every girl likes it, and she is no exception. Back in the room, Lin Feng hugged her and put her on the bed, pulling the bow tie. Zhang Yuxi propped herself up and smiled at him, hubby. This smile really turned everyone upside down. Lin Feng's breath was choked, I'll go get a glass of water. Zhang Yuxi smiled and said, hubby, am I beautiful today? Lin Feng gulped down a few gulps. Beautiful. Zhang Yuxi pursed her lips and smiled. Hubby him. Hubby Yuxi. Lin Feng asked, I'll go get you some hangover soup. Zhang Yuxi acted coquettishly. Honey, don't go, talk to me, okay? I have so many things to say to you. Lin Feng sat over. What? Zhang Yuxi looked up with a silly smile. I'm very happy today, super happy. Zhang Yuxi stood up, staggered in front of Lin Feng and turned in circles. Honey, am I beautiful? Lin Feng's eyes fell on her. Very beautiful. Zhang Yuxi's smile was like a rose. How beautiful. Lin Feng stood up, forced her to a corner, and whispered in her ear. Zhang Yuxi instantly turned into a delicate and beautiful red rose, her eyes rolling. Honey, is this dress expensive? Not bad. Zhang Yuxi looked down at the wedding dress and muttered, it's so beautiful, it must be very expensive. So, she raised her head and let down her long hair. Honey, don't ruin this dress. Between husband and wife, occasionally, a look, a word, a tone of voice, can make each other understand each other's intentions. He used the remote control to close the curtains and turned on all the lights in the room. Then he walked towards Zhang Yuxi. On the beach, everyone was eating and drinking. Lin Jiajin was holding his eldest son. No wonder so many people want to live a rich life. The happiness of rich people is beyond our imagination. Yu Zhang followed. Today we had a free meal and saw the world again. Thank you, Lin Feng. Lin Rui held a bottle of wine. Damn, this place is so comfortable. I will come back when I have money in this life. Yu Zhang teased him. Brother Rui said he had no money today and tomorrow. When will you have money? Lin Rui smiled. I really don't have much money. Lin Jiajin smiled. When you have money, take us to have fun and see the world. Yu Zhang followed. That's right, take us abroad, have a vacation, and have a good time. Lin Rui smiled again. Let's go. I'll take you to tea country for a tour, how about it? As soon as he finished speaking, Yu Zhang and Lin Jiajin shouted. Oh my god, Brother Rui, you are really generous. That's right, tea country, you can go there for 5,000 yuan, how dare you? Lin Rui spread his hands. Look, I asked you to go abroad to play, but you complained about this and that. It's not that I didn't invite you, but you didn't want to. Lin Jiajin waved his hand. I'm leaving first. You don't have any sincerity at all. Lin Rui stopped Yu Zhang. How about this? Among the brothers, you is the oldest. We invite you once a year and take turns. How about that? Yu Zhang smiled. If there is something, it's you, and if there is nothing, it's Yu Zhang. Lin Jiajin thought it was no problem. Okay, each of us brothers will go for a year, and Lin Feng and Xiaoji will be fine. His own money was earned by Lin Feng. They take the whole family out to play and travel once a year. They have fun, build relationships, and see the world. It's good to take your family out more often. Chapter 313 Honeymoon. The next day, Zhang Yuxi woke up with a splitting headache. When she turned around, she saw husband. Lin Feng opened his eyes, awake. Memories came flooding back, and Zhang Yuxi was completely confused. She rubbed her head. As a result, she was shocked when she saw the scratches on Lin Feng's body. Husband. You, what's wrong with you? Lin Feng raised his eyebrows. Did you forget? Zhang Yuxi asked in horror. What do you mean? Lin Feng leaned closer and asked, do you need me to say it again? Zhang Yuxi was panicked. No, it wasn't me who did it. Lin Feng looked at Zhang Yuxi with a smile. How about I help you recall it? Zhang Yuxi waved her hand quickly. No, husband, I want to think about it myself. Memories came flooding back, and Zhang Yuxi suddenly opened her eyes and looked at Lin Feng, with a look of shock on her face. Why, how could it be? Lin Feng smiled meaningfully, remembered it. Zhang Yuxi didn't want to admit it. But, it was indeed the case. Damn, it turns out that my nature is such a person? She was at a loss for words. Hubby, yes, I'm sorry, I was drunk, I didn't know it would turn out like this. In the face of Zhang Yuxi's apology, Lin Feng made things worse. Wife, I've known you for almost 2 years, I didn't expect that you are actually. Zhang Yuxi quickly acquiesced. No, I'm not, I didn't, you're talking nonsense. Lin Feng asked back, don't you want to admit it? Zhang Yuxi covered her face and hid in the quilt. Oh my god, I'm too embarrassed to see anyone. because I made a big mistake because of drinking before, although it led to marriage. But from that time on, Zhang Yuxi said that she couldn't drink. It can be said that she didn't drink a drop of alcohol. Even if she drank, she would just take a few sips to pretend. Yesterday was her big day. She was so happy. When she was drunk, she had memories, but her behavior was not controlled by her brain at all. This is over. Her image in her husband's mind must have been greatly reduced. So embarrassing. Lin Feng patted her through the quilt. Wife, it's out. Isn't it uncomfortable to hold it in? She would rather hold it in under the quilt and be embarrassed. Lin Feng was just teasing her. Who would have thought that after 3 years, his wife was still the shy wife? Wife, come out. As a result, Zhang Yuxi also turned in, which scared Zhang Yuxi. Lin Feng looked at her little face that was flushed, and asked with concern, "Are you okay, wife?" Zhang Yuxi shook her head awkwardly. "No, it's okay." Lin Feng saw that her eyes were dodging, so he came over and said something. Zhang Yuxi looked at him with wide eyes. She suspected that this was Lin Feng comforting her. How could anyone like that? Lin Feng was amused by her expression. "Get up, it's almost noon now." Zhang Yuxi was shocked. Almost noon. Lin Feng nodded. Yes. Suddenly, Zhang Yuxi felt unwell. If I remember correctly, they returned to the room around 6 or 7 in the evening. Lin Feng pulled her out of bed. Okay, don't think too much, they've left. Zhang Yuxi was stunned. Left? What do you mean? Lin Feng smiled and said, the next step is our 1-week honeymoon. In fact, Lin Feng had already gotten up and sent them off one by one. Seeing that Zhang Yuxi was sleeping soundly, he laid down again and continued to sleep for a while. Zhang Yuxi's legs softened, so Lin Feng asked her to rest first and went to the bathroom to run the water. The next week was their private space. Lin Feng turned off their mobile phones and enjoyed their world of two on this island with Zhang Yuxi. Zhang Yuxi likes the daytime, while Lin Feng likes the night. There is sea water, beach and sun during the day. There are uniforms, stockings and joy at night. A week later, Zhang Yuxi returned to Yangcheng and went back to school. Now it has been almost 2 years, and Lin Feng, Li Ubo and others have already graduated successfully. With the enrollment of new students, the rumors about Zhang Yuxi and Lin Feng have also slowly dissipated. The moment she stepped into the school, classmates she knew sent her blessings. Zhang Yuxi was the kind of person who could keep a calm face and look unmoved. But in fact, no one knew how shy she was at the moment. Back in the office, Zhang Yuxi gave the gift she had prepared to other teachers in the office. There were wedding candies, cigarettes, small red envelopes, and so on. Congratulations, Teacher Zhang. Congratulations, Teacher Zhang. I wish you a long and happy life together. We must take part in Teacher Zhang's celebration. I'll give this to my niece later so that she can get married soon. Then I'll give it to my brother. This kid is already in his 30s and doesn't even have a partner. Zhang Yuxi was puzzled. What kind of operation is this? Could it be that she is a lucky fish? Chapter 314 Sending the baby to kindergarten. Time flies, and the years pass by like a shuttle. In the blink of an eye, the babies are almost 3 years old. They look much taller than their peers, mature and smart. August 27th is the day for school registration. There is an international double standard kindergarten 20 minutes away from home by car, and the tuition fee for 1 semester is 20,000. It is said that when registering, parents and children have to be interviewed. In the evening, Lin Feng mentioned this to Zhang Yuxi. Now when babies go to kindergarten, parents and babies have to be interviewed. There are only 120 students in 1 semester, and they are all born before August 31st. Even if our babies were born on August 8th, they may not be able to study there. They only accept so many people. Zhang Yuxi said with a smile, if this kindergarten fails the interview, we will change to another one. I believe in the babies, they will definitely pass the interview. The day of registration and interview arrived. Zhang Yuxi took a special leave to welcome the big event of the babies' admission interview with Lin Feng. The babies were all dressed very beautifully and cutely, and Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi packed up. When they arrived at the school, many parents were already waiting in line. The number in Lin Feng's hand is 82. He randomly drew it from the school's WeChat public account. There are 3 interview examination rooms, so it was Lin Feng's turn very quickly. The little princess in front is a little shorter than the babies, and she is dressed very cutely. Her mother holds a transparent file bag with her child's resume in it. Because the file bag is transparent, Lin Feng can see it. This child has participated in dance, learned taekwondo, sang songs, and won the second place in the painting competition. Very impressive. Lin Feng was queuing, and Zhang Yuxi was playing games with the babies next to him. Soon it was their turn, and only one parent was allowed to accompany them in. This was an examination room arranged in a classroom, with 4 teachers sitting at the head. Seeing the babies, they were a little surprised. A teacher smiled and said, "Babies, parents please sit down." The babies sat obediently on the small stools. "Are you quadruplets?" The babies nodded in unison. "Then can you briefly introduce yourselves so that the teachers can all get to know you?" "Okay." Dabeo said first, "My name is Lin Feng, also called Dabeo, and I'm 3 years old this year. What I like most is eating and playing with toys." Erbeo stood up and said, "My name is Lin Tuanchuan, I'm Erbeo, and I'm 3 years old this year. I like my parents the most, as well as Dabe and Fifa in our family. Dabe is a dog, and Fifa is a cat, both of them are very obedient." Sanbeo stood up, "Lilin Yoinian, I'm Sanbeo, I like listening to music the most, I'm 3 years old." After saying this, Sanbeo sat down. Sibeo stood up with a smile, "My name is Lin Anan, I'm Sibeo, I'm 3 years old this year. What I like most is eating all kinds of delicious food, and I like Ultraman. Mom and Dad say I'm the most naughty, but I'm very good." Seeing these 4 babies, several teachers couldn't help but brighten up. The teacher nodded and asked, "Can you tell me what you can do?" "Dabeo, I can play, swim, and do taekwondo." "Erbeo, I can sing, dance, play basketball, swim, and do taekwondo." "Sanbeo, like them, but I can sleep." Sanbeo is particularly fresh and refined among the babies. Sibeo said, "I can eat, play, roll. I can do everything they can do." Another teacher took out a few objects. "Now, here's the question. Answer it together." He took out an apple. "What is the teacher holding in his hand?" The babies answered in unison, "Apple." "What color is it?" "Red." "Then can you tell me what color bananas are?" "Yellow." "What about grapes?" When the babies were faced with answering this question, their answers were inconsistent. Dabeo said it was purple, Erbeo said it was cyan, Sanbeo said it was green, and Sibeo said it was red. The teacher smiled and said, "Yes, our grapes actually have many colors, right? They are green and purple." Let the teacher test you again. What is 1 plus 1 equal to? 2. What is 4 plus 4 equal to? 8. These are all in the early childhood education class, when the teacher guided them to learn addition and subtraction. Next, the teacher took out some cards with vegetables, fruits, numbers and letters on them. Let the babies answer one by one. The babies' answers were all correct, and the teachers looked very satisfied. Next, the teacher took them out to play. The teacher stayed behind to ask Lin Feng, "Can the parent in front tell me, what is the reason for you to choose our school?" Lin Feng thought for a while. "When choosing a kindergarten for the babies, I visited your hospital. I am very satisfied with your educational philosophy and environment, so I chose to go to school here. I hope the babies can spend a happy time in kindergarten here." Then this parent, "Can you tell me what kind of kindergarten you have in mind?" The kindergarten provides a place for babies to learn, play, and live. So in terms of learning, teachers need to be high-quality teachers who can become good friends and good teachers in the hearts of babies. As for activities, I hope that the kindergarten can provide babies with enough space for activities. At the same time, in terms of life, I hope that the diet in the kindergarten can be nutritionally matched and have a good living habit. The babies enjoy freedom here and make their own friends. They overcome difficulties, improve themselves, and build self-confidence through their own shining points. The teachers were very satisfied with Lin Feng's answer. He asked again, "Next, I will ask some questions about the situation at home, and I hope the parents can cooperate." Lin Feng nodded. The teacher asked, "It is a very happy thing to have 4 lovely little angels at once. I believe that many people hope to have this happiness. But at the same time, taking care of babies is also a very hard thing. Are you and your wife taking care of the children? Or are they the grandparents, or do you hire someone to take care of them?" Lin Feng smiled slightly. "I am the one who takes care of the children's food and daily life. No one is hired to help at home." The teachers were all very surprised. Since they chose their kindergarten, they must be financially well off. And looking at this father's handsome appearance and noble temperament, He doesn't look like a man who is short of money. Being able to take care of 4 babies hand in hand shows that he is very concerned about the children. The teacher asked again, "Who do the babies sleep with at night now?" Lin Feng replied, "Everyone sleeps in his own crib now, just separate beds, not separate rooms." "Do you often take the children out to play?" "Yes, I often take the babies out to play. Let them get close to nature, play games they like or make friends." "Do the babies have picky eating, allergies or dietary taboos?" "No picky eating, allergies and dietary taboos have not been found yet." "What time do the babies get up? Do they have the habit of taking a nap?" "Get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and go to bed at 9 o'clock in the evening." "I have the habit of taking a nap." Here, Lin Feng is communicating with the teacher. Over there, the babies go for physical fitness tests to see the baby's coordination ability, etc. After returning, the babies all have smiles on their faces. The teacher smiled and said, "That's it for today. Dad and the babies will wait for notification. We will notify you by text message before 12 noon tomorrow." The babies waved their hands and said goodbye to the teachers. This year, the babies are going to kindergarten, and Zhang Chenchen is going to the 1st grade. The registration is in full swing. When I got home, Zhang Yuxi asked. "What did the teacher ask?" Lin Feng roughly explained the situation, and Zhang Yuxi said, "Oh." At 12 noon the next day, the school sent a text message saying that the babies were all admitted. At 9 a.m. on August 29th, parents went to the school to formally register. The above notice. Babies with local household registration, bring birth certificates, household registration books, guardian's ID card, originals and copies of children's vaccinations. Those who are not local residents have more procedures. The babies are all assigned to the 1st grade class. Lin Feng will take this to register the babies tomorrow. Zhang Yuxi is looking after the babies at home, and Lin Feng goes to register. Chapter 315 First day of school. Early the next morning, after Lin Feng made breakfast, he ate some first, and then went out to register the babies. There were many parents who came to the school to register, and Lin Feng walked to the classroom of the 3rd grade class. A female teacher who had been interviewed before was processing the payment procedures for the parents. The school did not require every baby to live in the school for lunch. The cost of living in the school at noon is higher. After a busy morning, the registration was finally over. The school gave each baby a small school bag with the school's logo tag on it. On the other side of the logo tag is a small card. Parents are required to write down the baby's class, name and mobile phone number. In the school bag, prepare a pair of pants for the babies to change and a sweat towel. The class time is 8:30 in the morning and 2:30 in the afternoon. The school time is 12 o'clock noon and 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Next, it is September 1st to enter school. The babies are full of expectations for school life, but the 3rd baby is nervous. "Dad, you will pick me up tomorrow, right?" "Of course I will. After school, Dad will pick you up." "Really?" "Of course it's true. How could Dad lie to you?" Pinky, you will never change even if you hang yourself for 100 years. If you change, you will be a puppy. Okay, let's Pinky. The next day, Zhang Yuxi and Lin Feng sent the babies to school. There were already many children sitting in the classroom, talking and laughing. Dabao and Sabao greeted Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi, and walked into the classroom with their heads held high and chests puffed out. Erbao grabbed Lin Feng's hand. "Daddy must come to pick us up at noon." Erbao's eyes were red and she was about to cry. Lin Feng hugged her and kissed her. "Okay." Erbao walked into the classroom, looking back every few steps. Sanbao's situation was even worse. He hugged Lin Feng's legs, pitiful. The couple told Sanbao gently and patiently. "Dad will definitely come to pick you up at noon. And your brothers and sisters are in the same class with you, they will accompany you." After talking for a long time, Sanbao finally agreed to enter the classroom. Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi looked at each other at the door, and saw Sanbao obediently put his school bag away like them. Then he sat in front of Erbao. "The 2 huskies at home have become friends with other classmates. I must educate them well when I go back, and I can't just leave Erbao and Sanbao alone and be happy. The 2nd floor is the middle class, and the 3rd floor is the senior class." A person who has been there said, "Don't look, leave quickly, or the children will cry later." Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi thought it made sense, and they quickly slipped away while the children were not paying attention. On this side, Erbao and Sanbao looked towards the door. "Oh my, it's terrible, Mom and Dad are gone. Sanbao couldn't hold back and cried loudly. Erbao usually doesn't cry loudly, he just sobs. The tears fell like pearls that had broken off the string. After all, they are all little girls, not as heartless as Dabao and Sabao. After leaving the school, the couple felt a little lost. They were not worried about Dabao and Sabao, but they were worried about Erbao and Sanbao. According to their understanding of them, they must have cried by now. Lin Feng felt uncomfortable when he thought of Sanbao crying. Even if he felt uncomfortable, there was nothing he could do. This is a necessary process for going to school. After a few days, when the babies are familiar with the school, they will not cry. After returning home, Lin Feng was absent-minded when cooking, and he kept looking at the time. The teacher didn't call, which means that the baby's situation is not very bad. It was 11:30. The couple had been waiting at the school gate early. In addition to them, there were some parents who were also looking forward to it. Those who looked very anxious were definitely the new students entering the kindergarten this year. To enter the school, you have to swipe your card at the gate, similar to the one at the subway station. After having this, they can enter the kindergarten. When they came to the first grade class, Lin Feng took the pickup card and looked out the window with Zhang Yuxi. Among the more than 30 babies in the class, my baby was spotted at a glance. Erbao and Sanbao both looked very happy with smiles on their faces. Not to mention Dabao and Sabao. Ding-ling-ling, the bell rang for the end of get out of class. It's time to pick up the children, so happy. The classroom door opened and the teacher brought out the babies who were going home. The parents looked at the teacher with a pickup card and let them go after confirmation. When the babies saw Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi, they cried out and rushed over. Sanbao cried. Lin Feng picked her up and said, "Say goodbye to the teacher." Sanbao lay on Lin Feng's chest, tears on her face, and forced a smile. "Goodbye, teacher." Sanbao waved in Zhang Yuxi's arms without saying a word. Their expressions formed a sharp contrast with the two carefree huskies on the ground. On the way home, Lin Feng asked the babies while driving. "Look, Daddy keeps his word, right?" Sanbao hummed, "Dad, do I have to go to school later?" "Yes." Hearing this, Dabao and Sabao were happy, Erbao and Sanbao were unhappy. Sanbao asked, "Can I not go to school?" Sanbao doesn't like school. "I can't see Mom and Dad." "Sanbao will miss you." Zhang Yuxi smiled and said, "Dad will pick you up in the afternoon. Although there are no Mom and Dad to accompany me, there are many children playing with Sanbao." Sanbao looked a little better. When Sabao heard about his good friends, he quickly stood up and said, "Mom and Dad, I've made a best friend." Zhang Yuxi asked, "Really? What's his name?" "I forgot, but he sits behind me. And the one in front is also my best friend." Dabao also said, "I've made a good friend too. He told me to visit his home and play with me. He also has a dog and a cat. And he likes Transformers too." Lin Feng frowned. "Dabao, Sabao, did you take care of Erbao and Sanbao in class today?" Sabao nodded. "Yes," Sanbao cried, "and I comforted her." Lin Feng asked, "Really?" Sabao nodded. "If you don't believe me, ask your sister." Sanbao nodded. "My brother and younger brother came to comfort me, saying that Dad would take us home." Lin Feng smiled with relief. "You are in the same class. You should help and care for each other, okay?" The four babies said in unison, "I know." The babies had breakfast at school today. Milk, snacks, and bananas. Lin Feng served the rice, and the babies ate it in big mouthfuls. Even Sanbao is the same, eating especially delicious food. The school will send the weekly menu to the group. Not only that, the school also has an official WeChat account. It has a brief introduction to the school, the teaching staff, etc. The weekly menu for each class, etc. Chapter 316 Teacher's Day. After dinner, the babies played for a while and then took a nap. They almost fell asleep as soon as they got into bed. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I called the babies to get up. After dressing them, the babies woke up. Sanbao said softly, "Dad, Sanbao wants to sleep for a while." "Sleep in the car for a while." Erbao, on the other hand, took a nap on Zhang Yuxi. This time, even if Erbao and Sanbao were not happy, they did not resist too much. Lin Feng emphasized many times that he would definitely come to pick them up and take them home. Let the babies feel safe. Zhang Yuxi had classes in the afternoon and had to go back to class. "Hubby, you've worked hard." "Not hard." "After school in the afternoon." Parents lined up to pick up their children. The whole school knew about the quadruplets, and as a parent, Lin Feng was naturally the focus of attention. He stood out in the team and was accustomed to the eyes around him. After picking up the babies, Lin Feng led them to the parking lot. There were too many people at this time, so Lin Feng discussed with the babies, "Next time, Dad will come later, okay?" Sanbao quickly said, "No." Lin Feng thought for a while, "Then let's wait for a while. When most of the people have left, we will leave, so we won't get together." The babies had no objection. At this time, Teacher Li was cleaning the playground, and Lin Feng went over to chat with her. He asked the babies about their first day at school. The babies all performed very well, they are all very well behaved, and they are all very smart. Teacher Li praised each of the babies. She especially praised Erbao and Sanbao. "Today you are great and brave children. You just cried for a while and then stopped crying. It's great." Erbao and Sanbao were particularly happy to be praised. Teacher Li smiled and asked, "Will you still cry when you go to school tomorrow?" Erbao and Sanbao shook their heads. Teacher Li said again, "Then we have an agreement like this. The teacher will wait for you in the classroom tomorrow. Let's play games and tell stories together, okay?" Erbao and Sanbao nodded heavily. Lin Feng looked outside. "Babies, say goodbye to the teacher, we are going home." The babies waved together, "Goodbye, Teacher Li." Teacher Li said with a smile, "Goodbye, babies." This time, Erbao and Sanbao performed very well. Because of the agreement with the teacher, they did not ask to skip class tomorrow. Back home. After Lin Feng cleaned up the babies, he took them to wash their hands and then had dinner. Lin Feng had already prepared dinner after 4 o'clock. He was just afraid that the babies would be hungry after school. Looking at the babies eating with big mouthfuls, Lin Feng felt the joy of having children growing up. It's time to go to kindergarten. Time flies so fast. When Zhang Yuxi came back, the babies were already full and playing. Lin Feng was hanging up school uniforms. 2 sets for each person, and the balcony was full of their clothes. They were all autumn and winter styles, and the tops were similar, like a small suit. The little girl was wearing a small skirt, and the little boy was wearing small pants. So, he would put leggings on Erbao and Sanbao tomorrow. As soon as Zhang Yuxi got home, she didn't care about eating. She pulled the little babies to ask about the school situation. Sanbao looked a little reluctant. Sanbao has made an appointment with Teacher Li and will go to school tomorrow. Zhang Yuxi held Sanbao's little face. Sanbao is really a good child who keeps his promise. Muah. Sanbao squinted his eyes and asked while hugging Zhang Yuxi. "Mom, will you send Sanbao to school tomorrow?" "Yes. Mom is the best." Lin Feng, who came back from hanging the clothes, said, "Wife, it's time to eat." Zhang Yuxi went to the kitchen to get some food. Lin Feng said, "The teacher said that the babies' names should be written on the new books distributed today. Find your school bags and take out the books. Dad will write them for you." Babies who have attended early childhood education classes will recognize many words, including their own names. They were given a total of 4 picture story books. They were all thin, with only 2 stories. Lin Feng took a rough look. They didn't know how to write grade 1, so they just wrote grade 1. Lin Feng was asked to write the names. His handwriting was vigorous and powerful, very beautiful. "Okay, put all the books in the school bags and put them on the shelf, so we don't have to look for them when we go to school tomorrow." The babies have very good execution ability and will do what they are told. After packing up their school bags and playing with the babies for a while, they went to bed. Lin Feng sighed, "I feel like time has passed so quickly since I went to kindergarten." Yes. In the evening, when Lin Feng was getting ready to go to bed, the system voice came. Ding. Because the host took the baby to kindergarten and fulfilled his father's responsibility, the baby will be rewarded with 4 bottles of nutrient solution. The nutrient solution has been added to the baby's dinner. The next day, Sanbao and Sanbao were very happy and full of expectations for campus life. Sanbao ate slowly, with a headache on his face. Erbao was better. Although he was a little reluctant, he didn't say anything. "Sanbao, you can tell your parents whatever you think." Zhang Yuxi also nodded, "Yes." Sanbao put down his chopsticks and said slowly, "Going to school is so tiring. There are many things to do. The couple. They can't help it. You can't just not go to school because you're lazy." Sanbao looked at his parents and knew what they were thinking, and continued to eat silently. This time when he was sent to school, Erbeo's eyes were red, but he didn't cry. Teacher Lee squatted down and smiled gently. Baby is great, Teacher Lee has been waiting for you. Erbeo smiled. Teacher Lee couldn't help but think in his heart. This little girl is so beautiful. When she grows up, she will definitely be like her mother, a stunning beauty. Lin Feng glanced at Sanbeo and thought about it. He still said hello to the head teacher, Teacher Lee. Teacher Lee said that he understood. Every baby has a different personality. They are the little treasures of their parents at home. It is normal for them to not adapt to school. Our teachers will make corresponding adjustments according to the differences of each baby. Lin Feng nodded. Thank you for your hard work, teacher. It's not hard, this is what we should do. When picking up the babies at noon, Erbeo and Sanbeo were in better condition today than yesterday. When they were picked up again in the evening, Erbeo and Sanbeo's faces were filled with smiles. On the third day, they no longer rejected going to school. Erbeo even urged Lin Feng. Dad, hurry up, Teacher Lee is still waiting for me. It will be fine soon. Teacher's Day came before we knew it. The teacher made it clear in the WeChat parent group that parents are not allowed to give Teacher's Day gifts. They are very happy to teach such a group of lovely babies. An active parent in the group usually spoke up. Teacher, let me ask the children to prepare some handicrafts. It's the first Teacher's Day, and it means a lot to the babies. That's fine. Make some greeting cards or something. Then it's not just gifts, but the baby's heart. The teacher smiled and said, you have to see what the babies mean. The other parents all agreed to this topic. Teacher's Day is on Monday, and they still have 2 days to prepare. Lin Feng clapped his hands and asked the babies who were playing to come over. Babies, next Monday is the teacher's holiday, Teacher's Day. What should we give to the teachers as gifts? Sibeo immediately said, send food. Erbeo quickly said, send cosmetics. Sanbeo said, send fruit and flowers. Dabeo said, send clothes. Lin Feng nodded in a serious manner and praised them for their good idea. Then he changed the subject and said, but what ones don't have the heart, why don't we make them ourselves? How about making a gift for the teacher by ourselves? The babies clapped their hands. Great. Lin Feng asked again, what? This stumped them, because if they made it themselves, the teacher had to like it. Finally, Lin Feng suggested, how about we make a bouquet of flowers for the teacher? The teachers are all girls, they will definitely like it if you give them flowers. There are 6 teachers in the first grade class, including the cleaning lady. The kids had no objection and made bouquets for the teachers together with Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi. The kids were the main force, while Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi assisted. They made silkscreen flowers according to the content of the video. Lin Feng remembered that this flower was very popular a few years ago. When he and the kids were looking for it online, the kids took a fancy to this one. After almost a day of hard work, the kids finally completed 6 bouquets of flowers. There are 3 flowers in each bouquet. Looking at the results, the kids were very happy. Lin Feng looked at the time. How about we make a bouquet for our mother too? My mother is also a teacher. The few of them discussed it. On the morning of Teacher's Day, they will present it to their mother as a surprise. Chapter 317 Liu Bo proposed. On the morning of Teacher's Day, Zhang Yuxi had an early class, so she couldn't send the babies to class. After Lin Feng finished his meal, he gave the babies a look. Dabeo, who had the most strength, came out holding a bunch of silkscreen flowers. Zhang Yuxi was talking to Lin Feng in the entrance hall. Honey, I won't be back for lunch at noon. We have to organize a meal today. Lin Feng reminded Zhang Yuxi, who had a bad alcohol tolerance, don't drink alcohol, only drinks. If you can't refuse, call me and let me pick you up, okay? Zhang Yuxi changed her shoes, picked up the key to the entrance hall, and hugged Lin Feng. I know, I'm not a child anymore, I can take care of myself. At this time, several babies appeared and talked in unison. Mom, today is Teacher's Day, I wish you a happy holiday. I wish Mom to be as beautiful as a fairy every day. Mom, you have worked hard, I hope you like it. Listening to the confessions of the babies, Zhang Yuxi covered her mouth in surprise and joy. Is this for Mom? Dabeo handed the flower to Zhang Yuxi. Mom, this is what we made, Dad said to give it to you, as a surprise. Sanbeo, who had been silent, had curved eyebrows. Does Mom like it? Zhang Yuxi took the flower and was overjoyed. Yes, Mom likes it very much. Thank you, babies, Mom loves you. She was really moved. hugged them one by one and kissed them. Finally, she also gave a kiss to the initiator Lin Feng. Husband, thank you. Lin Feng hugged her. Go, I will cook your favorite dish tonight. Okay. Zhang Yuxi took the flower and left. Lin Feng clapped his hands. Okay, we are going to school too. Put on your small school bags, take the flowers and let's go. When they arrived at the school, many students were holding gifts they made. After entering the classroom, the babies gave their gifts to every teacher in the class and sent their holiday wishes. Lin Feng came to the office with flowers in his hands. Are they from students? They are very beautiful. No, they are from my children. When she said this, Zhang Yuxi's face was full of pride and happiness. The other party envied. I remember your son is 3 years old and goes to kindergarten. That's really thoughtful. Zhang Yuxi placed the flowers in the most conspicuous place on the table. Whenever she saw it, it was as if she saw the babies. In the evening, Zhang Yuxi came back. She found that the babies were waiting for her to come back for dinner, and she felt guilty immediately. Sorry, Mom came back late, you must be hungry. The babies shook their heads. Lin Feng served the rice and arranged the dishes. They won't let themselves go hungry. Wife, take the babies to wash their hands and eat. All the dishes were Zhang Yuxi's favorite. She sat down and said happily, Honey, you've worked hard. Lin Feng smiled, then reward me tonight. Zhang Yuxi pretended that she didn't hear anything. I'm going to start. How could Zhang Yuxi escape at night? Of course, she was tossed around. At the end of September, the school held an autumn sports meeting. The teacher mentioned this in the group, and the babies bought a uniform children's camouflage uniform. The parents also bought a set to use for activities with the babies. Lin Feng also called in Lan and Liu Bo to participate. Because some activities are one-on-one, their family doesn't have enough manpower. And Lan likes to play and is looking forward to this sports meeting. A few days later, the camouflage uniforms of adults and children arrived. After washing them with water, the sports meeting also arrived. There was an activity in the class, so they had to go to school at 8 o'clock in the morning to make up for the babies. Therefore, Lan and Liu Bo went to Kehu Villa in the evening. The next day, they came to school. They found that the themes of the sports meeting for students and parents in each class were different. Only the adults and children in the first grade class were wearing camouflage uniforms. The children in the second grade class wore red sportswear, while the adults wore yellow t-shirts. The children and parents in the third grade class all wore green. Last night, the babies put on camouflage. They had a lot of fun role-playing with Lan and Liu Bo holding toy guns. After arriving at school at 8 o'clock, 4 teachers began to make up the babies. The teacher also explained to the parents, these foundations are all skin nourishing, will not harm the baby's skin, and can be used by adults with sensitive skin. After applying the foundation evenly on the babies, they applied dark blue eyeshadow and bright red lipstick. So far, it's still acceptable. Until the blush was as red as a monkey's butt. And Lan held back a smile and said, this makeup has never been out of style for decades. When I was a child, I painted it like this. Zhang Yuxi nodded, me too. Lin Feng said, from the photos, I do too. The teachers put beautiful stickers on their faces. And each of them was given a toy gun. Naughty boys have already started playing in the classroom, including Urbeo. It can be said that Urbeo is a little girl who often plays with boys. After the painting, the teacher asked the parents to take the baby's small stools and go to the designated area of the playground to sit and wait. The teachers will lead the children to organize the assembly. Today is sunny, and the parents sit in rows. One parent began to complain. This school also makes us move things by ourselves. In the previous school, everything was done for us parents. This school playground is too small, how can we do sports? Some parents echoed a few words, while some parents ignored her. The school broadcast sounded so familiar. And Lan sat on a small stool and sighed, I used to be on the stage, and now I'm off the stage. Zhang Yuxi asked next to her, when are you getting married? And Lan rolled her eyes, what kind of marriage? Am I so desperate? Haha. Zhang Yuxi whispered, I accidentally heard Lin Feng talking to Liu Bo on the phone the other day, and he said that he has been getting closer to you recently. Are you two together? Also, you told me before that you are no longer single. And with a friend, we met in a bar, and you guys did that? Could it be him? And Lan looked horrified, and quickly whispered, don't talk nonsense. Seeing in Lan's nervous look, Zhang Yuxi knew. This thing is 9 out of 10. What are you going to do? I also heard that Liu Bo seems to have proposed recently. Hearing this, Lan was a little terrified. Is this true? Zhang Yuxi narrowed her eyes slightly. You scum, you're getting out of bed and denying it. Lan widened her eyes. Get lost, we agreed before that everything will come naturally, and there's no rush to get married. You know me, I want to have some more fun. I don't want to get married so early. The fact that Liu Bo was going to propose made Lan panic. Zhang Yuxi felt that her best friend's behavior was indeed a bit inappropriate sometimes. But no matter what, she was her best friend. He always sided with her more. You should have a good talk with Liu Bo. He's a good man, and he's infatuated with you. Lan sighed. I'll have a good talk with him, and if it doesn't work out, we'll break up. Zhang Yuxi. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 318, Talking with a Girlfriend. At this time, the teams of each class have assembled. After the principal spoke on stage, he announced the official start of the sports meeting. The first team to appear was the first grade class. Their slogan was, first grade, strive for the first place. The one holding the first grade sign was Dabeo? Exclamation mark. This was something the couple did not expect. Looking at Dabeo's face like a little adult, they were proud of being parents. Even though they were all wearing camouflage, their children knew where they were at a glance. They all performed very well, and their slogans were very powerful. The voice of the fourth child was particularly prominent and easy to distinguish. The second and third children walked together, and the parents in the parent group waved their hands happily. The babies were much taller than their peers, so they all stood at the back. Lan said happily, Dabeo can do it. Dabeo held the sign and stood at the designated position under the command of Teacher Li with a serious face. Next was the second grade class, and then the senior class. Next, after the principal's speech, each class performed a talent show. The order of appearance of each class in the talent show was different. The first class was the middle class. The first class started in the middle of the competition. Teacher Li and other teachers in the class led the dance in front, and the children followed suit because they couldn't remember the movements. Each child carried a toy gun and started to punch and kick. Then they fought each other with guns, and crawled a few steps on the ground to stand up. It was only the first class, and the children were young, so their movements were messy. But they were so cute that the parents laughed. Zhang Yuxi recorded this scene and posted it in the family group. Zhao, I saw Dabeo at a glance, haha, this kid is stronger than other classmates. Joe Killen, just now I asked the child's father to look, and except for Sabeo, no one guessed it right. Lin Jiajin, what a coincidence, we are also having a sports meeting today. After that, he sent pictures and videos. Xiaoan is in elementary school. He has grown a lot in the past few years and has become much more stable. After the competition, each class went to the designated area to do class activities. This was the first time to participate in the sports meeting with the babies, and everyone was eager to go. Raymond Lam took Sanbeo. Zhang Yuxi took Erbeo. And Lan took Sibeo, and Liu Bo took Dabeo. The first game was. The adults blindfolded their eyes, and after the babies finished singing in circles holding hands, they still had to find their own babies. The babies could not make any sound or dodge. The adults could not ask, but could only touch the baby's head. This was not stressful for Raymond Lam. He knew the head shapes of his son and daughter very well. After blindfolding, he quickly selected Erbeo and Dabeo. Zhang Yuxi selected Sabeo. And Lan and Liu Bo both made the wrong choice, and Sanbeo was chosen by another mother in advance. So Raymond Lam did not find Sanbeo among the babies. The parents took off the blindfolds, and the parents who made the right choice hugged their babies and kissed them, thinking they were great. The parents who made the wrong choice started looking for their children with a smile. Sanbeo was not found by Raymond Lam because he saw himself being chosen first. So, I calmly accepted the fact that I was not found. Everyone gathered together to comfort Sanbeo. Sanbeo said he didn't care. The next game was. The children were divided into two teams, and the parents were divided into two teams, and they had to correspond with each other. This game is called hitting the ball, and you have to hit the ball while running towards the parents. After the parents receive the ball, They hit the ball all the way to the children. The ball was as big as a basketball, and the children hit it and dropped it. The ball was not obedient at all. The parents on the opposite side comforted and encouraged the children. Everything is important to participate. Winning or losing is not important. The most important thing is that the children and parents have fun. The third game is similar to this one, not hitting the ball, but a relay race. This is a competition, and the two teams will see who wins. Lin Feng has to run twice, once for Bao and once for Bao. Because it is a competition, the babies and parents are immediately excited. Zhang Yuxi, Liu Bo and Lan are in the first team. Lin Feng is in the second team. With a command, the two teams started the competition again. The babies shouted to cheer for their parents, grandparents. Zhang Yuxi's team won, while Lin Feng's team lost. The teachers performed twice. The activity started at 9 o'clock and lasted until 12 o'clock. Next, the parents and the babies returned to the team. The principal came on stage to summarize today's sports meeting, and then it ended perfectly. Go back to the classroom according to the class. The parents held their children in one hand and the babies' small chairs in the other hand and went back to the classroom. Lin Feng asked Bao and Bao, "Where will you sit?" Teacher Li said on the stage, "The babies performed really well today, and the teachers are proud of you. And all parents, thank you for your active cooperation in this sports meeting. No class this afternoon. Class will be held next Monday." The babies carried their school bags and went home holding their parents' hands. Lin Feng asked Bao, "Are you happy today, baby?" Bao's eyes were shining. "Happy. I like playing games with mom and dad the most." The other babies were also reluctant to leave. Back home, Lin Feng made noodles. The babies ate them up with a gurgle, and soon they felt sleepy. They were sleepy because of too much exercise today. After settling the babies, Liu Bo was going back to the store and asked Lan if she wanted to go. Lan lazily lay on the sofa. "No, I'm tired." Liu Bo said softly, "Then you have a good rest. If you want to go to the store, call me and I'll take you there." Lan nodded. As soon as Liu Bo left, she looked very worried. Zhang Yuxi planned to sacrifice her nap time to have a heart-to-heart talk with her bestie. Lan was probably upset by Liu Bo's proposal. Zhang Yuxi sat down and asked, "Thinking about you and Liu Bo." Lan nodded and sighed. "Tell me, if Liu Bo really proposed to me, what should I do?" Zhang Yuxi comforted her. "Liu Bo shouldn't do that. How long have you been together?" Lan pursed her lips and looked at the time. "Forget it, don't think about it. Let's take it one step at a time." Zhang Yuxi saw that her face was not very good, and said worriedly, "Why are you so pale? Do you want to take a break?" Lan wiped her face. "Do you want to take a break?" She opened the photo album on her phone, but threw it aside in an instant, looking disgusted. "I'll go to the bathroom to check. The front camera of this phone doesn't have any beauty function." Lin Feng came downstairs. "Wife, go to bed." As she was talking, Lan came out of the bathroom, touching her face. "Yes, my face is indeed a little pale. I guess I'm tired." Zhang Yuxi was worried. "I'll take you to the hospital." Lan felt that she was making a fuss. She had been strong since she was a child, and her body was fine again. "There's no need to go to the hospital. Maybe I didn't get enough rest during this period. I couldn't wake up every day, and I felt very tired all over. Maybe my relatives are coming. It's been postponed for a long time." Lan muttered as she sat down. Only then did she realize that Lin Feng was there, and she quickly shut up and smiled. "I'm really fine. Thank you for your concern. I'm really fine." Zhang Yuxi turned to Lin Feng and said, "Husband, please go upstairs to accompany the children to sleep first. We'll chat for a while." Lin Feng nodded. "Okay." It was obvious that she was trying to get Lin Feng away. Chapter 319. Lan is pregnant? When Lin Feng went upstairs, Zhang Yuxi's expression became strange. "You just said that your relative has been delayed for many days. And I've been sleepy and lazy recently and don't want to move." Lan was stunned for a moment, and said with a smile, "You don't think I'm pregnant, do you? Liu Bo and I both took protective measures that night, so it's impossible." Zhang Yuxi asked again, "Then how many days has your relative been delayed?" This question stumped Lan. "Let me calculate. According to reason, I should have come in early September or late August." Lan's face suddenly changed, and she screamed, "Fuck, it's been delayed for 30 days. Today is September 27th, she should have come on August 27th. Zhang Yuxi's face was not good either. I'll take you to the hospital. And Lan shook her head with a pale face, full of resistance. No, I don't want it. Just go to the pharmacy and buy me some test strips. Zhang Yuxi stood up and said without saying a word, let's go, I'll drive you to the hospital. The queen spoke, and Lan could only admit defeat. It's more than 10 minutes away from the hospital. In the car, Lan called Liu Bo and scolded him. Liu Bo, you are finished. Just wait and see how I will deal with you when I get back. What's wrong with me? I didn't offend you. You offended me. Then I'm sorry, I won't make you angry next time. Don't be angry, okay? Listening to Liu Bo's apology, Lan was panicked. She hung up the phone with a snap. Zhang Yuxi looked at her. If you are pregnant, what are you going to do? Lan said in shock, get out, I won't be pregnant even if you are pregnant. Zhang Yuxi drove the car to the parking lot. Get out of the car. I won't. I said, get out of the car. Lan was panicked inside, went downstairs pitifully, and accused Lan of having no sympathy. What a best friend. Zhang Yuxi took her hand, registered for the gynecology department, and then waited. Lan sat down, shaking her legs anxiously, and comforted herself. Her uterus was cold. When she was examined before, the doctor said this about her situation. If you want to get pregnant, you have to treat the uterus first. After she had been treated for a period of time, she relapsed. It was mainly because she ate too much cold food in the summer. She had originally wanted to go back for treatment this time, but she missed it. Lan. It was Lan's turn, and Zhang Yuxi accompanied her to see the doctor. After the doctor asked about the situation, he looked at Lan and said, go check your urine and use a pregnancy test paper. This also requires payment. Zhang Yuxi went to pay the fee and gave the bill to the nurse. The nurse gave Lan a small cup and said, go to the toilet. After a while, Lan came out with something, feeling uneasy. The nurse tested it and the result came out 15 seconds later, you are pregnant. These 4 words, like a bolt from the blue, hit Lan hard on the head. Zhang Yuxi looked at the test paper and asked the nurse to try another one. Seeing Lan's look of shock, the nurse did another test for free. Pregnancy. Lan didn't believe it. This thing must have errors. So, this time, she did an ultrasound. Damn, she didn't believe it. Zhang Yuxi went to pay the fee and waited. When it was Lan's turn, she took a deep breath and entered the ultrasound room. She lay on the bed, and the doctor was doing the examination, which was a bit uncomfortable. While fiddling with it, the doctor said to his assistant, I found. Lan couldn't hear anything else he said. When she walked out of the ultrasound room in a daze, Zhang Yuxi knew without asking. Lan sat on the waiting chair with her head down. Lan was like this until the way back. The car stopped on the side of the road, and Zhang Yuxi finally asked, do you want this child? Lan shook her head, looking confused, I don't know. Zhang Yuxi sided with Lan in her heart, if you don't want it, I will accompany you to the operation, and I won't even tell Lin Feng. She held her bestie's hand, no third person will know about this. Lan looked at her in a daze, and felt that these words were familiar. Back then, when Zhang Yuxi was pregnant, she seemed to have said the same thing. At this moment, Lan thought of the babies. What would she do if Zhang Yuxi didn't want children? In fact, giving birth to children is right. Let alone Raymond Lamb, the babies alone are like angels. She occasionally looks forward to having her own child. It was just a look forward to it, never taken seriously. But this time, it was real. She was pregnant. Zhang Yuxi saw Lan struggle. Lan, no matter which way you choose, I will support you. Just like Lan supported herself back then. Lan hesitated and asked, why did you choose to give birth to the babies back then? Zhang Yuxi thought for a while and said, my original thoughts cannot represent your thoughts. At the beginning, she broke up with Zhang Fuiong and left her hometown in anger, and then decided to give birth to the child. But Uncle and Aunt are looking forward to this child of Lan. Liu Bo must be looking forward to it too. Lan's situation is completely different from his own at that time. Lan said weakly and helplessly, I don't know what to do now. If I choose to give birth to her, I will lose my freedom. You know I like an unrestrained life and don't want anything to bind me. Zhang Yuxi understands her. Look at me now, I'm actually living a good life, right? The babies are all very cute, right? Besides, if you lose something, you will often gain something. Zhang Yuxi and Lan talked a lot this afternoon. Even if she made the worst plan, Lan had a way out. And Lan took a deep breath and seemed to have made up her mind. Okay, I'll give birth to this child. It's just giving birth to a child, what's there to be afraid of? Thinking of this, she felt infinite courage in her heart. You chose to give birth to the babies under such difficult circumstances back then, so what I did is nothing. Zhang Yuxi said with a smile, okay, I've been comforting you for a long time, it's time to go back, what about you? And Lan raised her eyebrows and sneered. No words. Mom, eat. Zhang Yuxi finished eating in one bite and said with a smile, delicious. Looking at Sanbao, who looked like a little angel, Zhang Yuxi was extremely glad for her original decision. Sanbao fed his mother another piece. Lin Feng brought out the fruit. Sanbao, eat it yourself, Daddy cut a fruit for Mom. Sanbao hummed. Here, Zhang Yuxi just put a mouthful of cantaloupe into her mouth. Lin Feng asked casually, isn't Lan pregnant? Zhang Yuxi almost choked to death, which scared Lin Feng. Zhang Yuxi gulped down a mouthful of water before swallowing it, and asked with wide eyes, husband, how did you know? Lin Feng was puzzled. Just now I heard what you were talking about, and I saw you deliberately send me away, and you came back in a good mood again. All these things, don't they prove that Lan is pregnant? Zhang Yuxi was speechless and spoke quickly. Husband, you pretended not to know about this. I promised Lan not to tell anyone. I can only tell her after she announces it. Best friends, you can't betray me. Lin Feng laughed, okay, I won't tell you. Zhang Yuxi nodded and breathed a sigh of relief, okay. Chapter 320 Beautiful Fate. On the other side. Lan drove all the way to Tuanji Road. There was a warehouse in the store, and Lan called people to the warehouse. Liu Bo saw that she had a dark face, and he felt sad. Lan, don't be angry. Before he finished speaking, Lan punched and kicked him. Liu Bo didn't move, and it felt that at this moment, Lan really wanted to beat him to death. You bastard, you men are really not a good thing. Are you satisfied now? Are you happy? Fuck, you must have planned it for a long time, it must be. You are using such despicable means. Liu Bo, I misjudged you. Lan's hands were quite heavy, but for Liu Bo, it was just a tickle. He thought. I didn't do anything to make her angry. I have been very good recently. Lan was tired, and the air in the warehouse was not good, so she had to go out and get some fresh air. Liu Bo followed behind, hesitating and asking, Lan, can you tell me what I did wrong? I'll change next time, okay? Lan sat down and asked, tell me, what am I to you? Liu Bo said readily, you are my little sweetheart, you are my little baby, you are my queen. Lan asked, always? Liu Bo nodded, always. Lan looked at him with disgust, men's mouths are deceitful. Lan yawned, there's something in my bag, you can see it yourself. Speaking with gritted teeth. Liu Bo opened Lan's bag, and the B ultrasound examination form was particularly eye-catching. He took it out and read it quickly, and finally landed on the two words early pregnancy. He asked in disbelief, are you pregnant? Lan was stunned for a moment, yes. She was also a little unbelievable. But on second thought, she was not unbelievable at all. He is a man, doesn't he know anything? Liu Bo calculated the time, it was around the time when he got drunk, that should be correct. Lan asked coldly, so what? Liu Bo blinked, it's not my fault, you said you couldn't get pregnant because of uterine cold, and it was you who asked me to remove it. Lan asked with a dark face, so it's my fault? Right. This dead man dared to say yes, she absolutely doesn't want this child. Liu Bo quickly shook his head, no, what I want to say is that we have to pay for our mistakes. Lan was about to explode, pay. Liu Bo said cautiously, so, let's have a baby, okay. He came over and said excitedly and nervously, I can't be as rich as Brother Feng, but I love children as much as he does. I won't let you down, I will treat you well for the rest of my life. Look, this is not something I have planned for a long time, this is a beautiful fate. Lan snorted, it's not impossible to get married and have children, but we have a promise, if you treat me and the child badly after marriage, and do something to let me down, then we can divorce. Liu Bo quickly swore, I swear that day will never come. Lan raised her chin, okay. Then let's get the wedding done quickly. My belly is so big that I won't look good in a wedding dress. Liu Bo asked happily, what kind of wedding do you like? Lan thought for a moment, not too big, and not too expensive. It just needs to be presentable and not shabby. Damn it, she had already started saving money for this family before she even married him. I am such a good woman. Just as Zhang Yuxi said, Anlan's child was saved. When both parents heard the news, they were so happy. Although Liu Bo's family conditions were a little worse than Anlan's, he was a good person and it was good that he could tie their daughter down. The wedding was decided to be held in December and it would take 2 or 3 months to prepare. The An family couldn't marry off their daughter too cheaply. After the last day of class at the end of the month, there would be a long vacation. Teacher Li posted a long notice in the group and a paper statement for parents to sign. The class would collect signature slips. After a month, there were only a few parents who were active in the parent group and enthusiastic to meet. One of them was a mother named Shen Xianshan, who was dressed in famous brands and was a very high-profile person. Whatever was said in the group, there would always be 1 or 2 people who came forward to praise it. This time, she asked all parents in the group where to go for fun. Those who can come to this school have good family conditions. Going out for fun or going abroad is no problem. Parent A: there are so many people on vacation and it's too hot. I don't want to go anywhere for fun. Where is Shen's mother? Shen Xianshan's mother: if you feel too hot, go to a place where it's spring all year round. I plan to take the kids to Hawaii or Bali. Is there anyone who wants to join us in a group? Parent B: Hawaii and Bali? Forget about it. Let's just take them to the playground. Parent C: there are too many people. I don't want to go anywhere. I'm not as rich as Shen's mother. Shen Xianshan's mother: it doesn't cost much to go to places like Hawaii. It's only about 10,000 yuan each time. I take my kids there almost every year. I'll pick up the babies and go home in the afternoon. It's time for a long vacation. Zhang Yuxi glanced at the group chat. Husband, do you want to take the babies abroad for a long vacation? Lin Feng was preparing dinner. Sure, where to go? Zhang Yuxi thought of Hawaii and Bali. Why don't we go to Hawaii and Bali? Lin Feng had no objection. It's all right. Let's ask the kids later. A parent-teacher meeting will be held before the holiday. The babies were playing in the playground, and the parents were holding a parent-teacher meeting. Teacher Li once again reminded the parents and babies about safety during the holiday, and also gave 2 tasks to the parents and babies. During the holidays, the babies have to grow a pot of flowers they planted themselves. Any flower will do. It is best to plant them from seeds, then put names on them and place them in the classroom. The second task is to collect 10 different leaves and make a collection book. Mark the origin of the leaves so that the babies can know more about nature. After assigning the homework, Teacher Li clapped her hands. Okay, Teacher Li and all the teachers here wish the babies and parents a happy holiday. Now, let's put the little chairs away, and we can go home with Mom and Dad. Teacher Li waved her hand and sent the babies out of school one by one. Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi took the babies out of school. Lin Feng asked them, what are the tasks assigned by the teacher? Erbao rushed to answer, collect leaves and plant flowers. Sibao followed closely and said, I want to plant apple trees. Dabao was surprised, apples are not flowers, right? Sanbao said very confidently, apples are fruits. Sibao argued, but apples can also bloom. Erbao was in Zhang Yuxi's arms, I want to plant the most beautiful flowers. As he was talking, a little girl called Sibao. Unfortunately, it was Shen Xianshan. Shen Xianshan used to be the same table with Sibao, and she was also a naughty little girl. The two of them had a lot of fun sitting together. Teacher Li transferred Shen Xianshan to be the same table with the quiet Sanbao. What a coincidence, Dabao is on Sanbao's left hand and Erbao is on his right hand. So Shen Xianshan had Sanbao on one side and Erbao on the other. Sanbao was too lazy to pay attention to her, so she quickly got along with Erbao. In addition, Erbao had a loud voice, so Shen Xianshan moved the seats again. Their seats were not fixed, and the teacher would let them sit randomly. In the past month, I don't know if it was an inexplicable fate, but Shen Xianshan sat with all 4 babies of the Lin family. Wherever Shen Xianshan is, it must not be a quiet place. If the tablemate is a taciturn person like Sanbao, she still has the tables in front and behind. There is always someone to talk to. She has the best relationship with Sibao and Erbao. One is as talkative as her, and the other is as naughty as her. But, she has the best relationship with Sibao. Because Erbao is too beautiful, she can't compare to others. Raymond Lam learned from Erbao and Sanbao that as long as Shen Xianshan bought a new skirt, New clothes, shoes, etc., she would definitely show off in front of them. Why is it showing off instead of sharing these? Because Erbeo would imitate Shen Xianshan's tone of voice, Raymond Lam judged. Shen Xianshan is very beautiful, and her mother is also very beautiful. As for what the father looks like, since the start of school for a month, Raymond Lam has not seen him. Chapter 321 Visiting Shen Xianshan's house. One day, Shen Xianshan called Sebeo and invited him warmly. Would you like to visit our home? I have many toys for you to play with. It can be seen that she really likes to play with Sebeo. When Sebeo heard that there were toys, he asked, are there any Ultraman toys? Shen Xianshan was a girl and didn't have that thing, so she shook her head. Sebeo shook her head, then I won't go. Erbeo came over and asked, do you have Barbie dolls? Shen Xianshan nodded, yes, do you want to come to my house to play? Erbeo asked back, can I go? Shen Xianshan nodded quickly, sure. After all, she used to be praised by everyone and thought she was beautiful. Later, after going to school, she saw Erbeo and Sanbeo who were more beautiful than herself, and she felt a little jealous. But children are very simple-minded and can get along well with others. Shen Xianshan's mother came over with a limited edition LV bag. She was still very enthusiastic about Lin Feng, the rich family in the class. Just kidding, having 4 children at once. The tuition for one semester is more than 100,000, and more than 200,000 a year. How can you go to this school without some money? Shen Xianshan smiled and said, why don't you come to our house during the holidays? Xianshan always tells me about your children. Lin Feng was very pleased that the babies could make good friends at school. He smiled and asked the babies, do you want to visit Xianshan's classmate? Sebeo shook his head and refused the invitation. Because there is no Ultraman, he doesn't want to play with Barbie dolls. Dabeo saw that if there is no Ultraman, there must be no Transformers. He also shook his head and said he would not go. I won't go either, there are no Transformers. Although Erbeo wanted to go, he saw that Sebeo and Dabeo were not going, and after thinking about it, he also refused. Sanbeo listened to his brothers and sisters and didn't go either. When little Shen Xianshan heard this, she was immediately sad. Her mother quickly said, it's okay, Auntie will buy you some, okay? Buy a lot of Ultraman and Transformers, okay? Sebeo and Dabeo's eyes lit up. Lin Feng said, Mother Shen, it's not necessary. We have a lot of toys at home. I will. Shen Xianshan's mother interrupted Lin Feng, toys are not worth much, just consider it as a gift for the children. She touched her daughter's head lovingly, then it's settled, you guys come to our house for lunch tomorrow. Shen Xianshan smiled happily again, waved and followed her mother while reminding. Come to our house to play tomorrow. Dabeo and Sebeo thought about the toys and answered okay. Very enthusiastically. Zhang Yuxi asked, husband, we are going to visit someone else's house tomorrow, what gift should we buy? Lin Feng thought for a while. Let's buy a Barbie doll for little Shen Xianshan. How about buying one for Erbeo and Sanbeo? Buy some fruits and other things at that time. Zhang Yuxi thought for a while, give little Shen Xianshan a few princess dresses. Lin Feng nodded, okay. The next day, the gifts were packed. Lin Feng drove the babies to Shen Xianshan's home. Shen Xianshan lives in a single-family villa, and the family hired an aunt. Shen Xianshan's mother is a full-time housewife, and her main job is to take care of the children. It was the aunt who opened the door, followed by Shen Xianshan, holding a toy in her hand. Her eyes became bright in an instant. Sebeo, Erbeo, Dabeo, Sanbeo, you are all here. She happily held Sebeo's hand and called Erbeo. Come and see, Mom bought the new Ultraman and Transformers. And Barbie dolls. The living room is very large, and there is an area for Shen Xianshan's toys. It is covered with a thick layer of carpet and piled with various toys. Raymond Lam and Zhang Yuxi changed their shoes in the entrance. Shen Xianshan's mother was wearing home clothes and light makeup, and said with a smile. You are here, please sit down. Raymond Lam handed the gift he bought for Shen Xianshan to her. Mother Shen took it and said, sorry for the expense. Sit inside. Lunch will be ready soon. She held the gift bag and said, Xianshan, Uncle and Auntie brought you a gift. Do you want to see it? Shen Xianshan ran over and said, I want to see it. Erbeo came over and said, it's a Barbie doll. Daddy also bought one for me and my sister. It's so beautiful. Shen Xianshan often bought Barbie dolls for her daughter, so she knew this brand. It's expensive, but the workmanship is not comparable to other Barbie dolls. You get what you pay for. It's really beautiful. This is the latest Barbie doll. It can imitate various situations such as being sick, crying, and happy. Shen Xianshan was so happy that she hugged the Barbie doll and kissed it hard. Next, there were 4 sets of beautiful princess costumes in various colors, which were very beautiful. Erbao said again, Dad also bought one for me and my sister. He said that all 3 of us should have one. Shen Xianshan was so happy that she wanted to change into it quickly. Mother Shen smiled and said, No, you have to rinse it with water before you can wear it. Shen Xianshan pouted unhappy. Mother Shen said quickly, You have received the gift, go and say thank you to the uncle and aunt. Little Shen Xianshan walked up to Zhang Yuxi and Lin Feng and said thank you obediently. Lin Feng smiled and said, You're welcome. Erbao took Shen Xianshan's hand. Let's go, let's play with Barbie dolls. Shen Xianshan stood up. You sit down first, I'll go to the kitchen to take a look. The villa is decorated very luxuriously, but it looks a bit cold. Mother Shen came out of the kitchen. We'll have dinner in 10 minutes. I don't know what you like to eat, so I asked the aunt to cook her specialty. Lin Feng said, We'll eat with the children, and we all like light food. Mother Shen smiled and said, Me too, I always see you pick up the children alone, don't you have an aunt at home? Lin Feng shook his head, No, it's my husband and I who take care of the children. Mother Shen covered her mouth and asked in surprise, Then you are really amazing, it's hard, right? Xianshan is the only child in our family, and there is an aunt to help at home, but even so I still feel a little tired. Lin Feng smiled faintly, It's okay, I'm used to it. And the baby is getting bigger and bigger, now he goes to kindergarten, it's much easier than before. The aunt in the kitchen said that it's time to eat. Mother Shen stood up, It's time to eat. She asked her daughter to ask the babies to wash their hands and eat. The lunch was very rich and the nutrition was well matched. The babies were arranged to eat on the coffee table. Several children discussed while eating. Sanbao said, Dad said, Don't talk while eating. Erbao nodded, You can play after you finish eating. Xianshan, don't talk too, eat quickly. Sibao ate with a chuckle. Dabao had already eaten 1/3 of the food. Seeing this, Mother Shen showed an envious expression, No wonder your children are so well grown and willing to eat. My Xianshan likes to be picky about food. It seems that I have to teach her a lesson in the future. Chapter 322 Old Classmate. At the dinner table, the 3 of them ate and chatted. Unexpectedly, Shen Xianshan's mother and Lin Feng were from the same hometown, both from Micheng. Shen's father is the mayor of Shanghai. He is busy in Shanghai now and will not be able to go home for a few days. Shen's mother clapped her hands, What a fate. I remember when I was in junior high school, there was a boy named Lin Feng in my class, could it be you? Lin Feng asked, Where did you go to junior high school? Number 2 middle school. Which class? From the 1st to the 3rd grade, I was in class 8. That's me. Shen Xianshan's mother was surprised, It's really you. Oh my god, you've changed so much that I didn't recognize you. Do you still remember me? Liu Qing. Lin Feng thought about it and shook his head. Shen Xianshan's mother smiled, I used to be the representative of the English class. Lin Feng thought about it again, I have some impression. He said to Zhang Yuxi. When he was in school, he was very unruly in class, and the teacher couldn't do anything about him. He played around, but fortunately his grades were good, and he was always in the middle or above in every exam, so the teacher turned a blind eye to him. Zhang Yuxi was surprised. She turned her head to look at the man who she thought was her perfect husband. Unruly when he was young. It was hard to imagine what Lin Feng would be like at that time. Liu Qing put down her chopsticks, I have a high school diploma, let me show you. Lin Feng was slightly surprised, because she had lost the thing a long time ago. Liu Qing went downstairs with an old photo in her hand, and gave it to Zhang Yuxi. See if you can guess where he is. Zhang Yuxi glanced at it at first glance, but she didn't find Lin Feng's figure. She looked at it carefully again, and pointed uncertainly at the boy in the last row, who looked as cold as ice and had a cool look. Is it him? Zhang Yuxi asked uncertainly. Because the person in the photo was too different from Lin Feng now. But she looked carefully, and only the boy had a vague shadow of Lin Feng. Liu Qing took a look and exclaimed, Yes, how did you tell that? Zhang Yuxi was stunned. She didn't expect that she guessed it right. After comparing the two, Zhang Yuxi didn't know what to say. The boy in the photo was very handsome and indeed looked unruly. While eating, Lin Feng explained, I was young at that time, and I just wanted to go out and surf the internet and play with my classmates. Now that I think about it, I don't know what I was playing, I just didn't want to study. He had seen Zhang Yuxi in middle school. Pretty, pure, with a warm smile, she was the prettiest one in photos with classmates. You can tell at a glance that she is a good girl from a good family, and in fact, she is. Unlike herself, she spent her junior high school life in the days. Zhang Yuxi took a photo with her mobile phone and printed a copy to keep. At the dinner table, Liu Qing told Zhang Yuxi a lot about Lin Feng. He was a big shot in school. He was rich, handsome, and always got into trouble. You don't know, he was a good fighter. Schoolmates said he and those guys were the four young masters. Zhang Yuxi almost burst out laughing, the four young masters. Lin Feng was even more confused than Zhang Yuxi, is that true? Liu Qing nodded, yes, many girls like you, write you love letters, and give you chocolates. Lin Feng had no impression. Zhang Yuxi listened with great interest. Lin Feng finished cleaning up, and then went to play with the children. After lunch, it was almost time to go home for a nap. Liu Qing tried to persuade them, just sleep here, there are plenty of rooms. The children were having so much fun, Zhang Yuxi and Lin Feng couldn't bear it. Lin Feng smiled and said, then I'm sorry to bother you. Liu Qing smiled and said, what's the point of bothering us? We are classmates, they are classmates, and we are from the same hometown as each other. The 3 layers of relationships brought the people closer. Liu Qing chatted with a couple about the children. Since I had a child, I have been a full-time mother and have not worked for more than 4 years. Everything in life revolves around the child. As her husband earned more and more, their lives became more and more lonely. Fortunately, Xianshan is with me, and the days pass quickly. Zhang Yuxi heard the reluctance and loneliness in Liu Qing's words. Now that Xianshan is in kindergarten, do you want to go out to work? Liu Qing glanced at him, work? What can I do? I'm not young anymore. Those who recruit workers must have relevant work experience, and I don't know what I am suitable for. She graduated from a well-known domestic university and met her husband at school. She got pregnant after graduation. She has no relevant work experience at all. Those recruitment companies outside will definitely not hire her. Zhang Yuxi was surprised, you are only 26 or 27, and you don't even say you are old at 30. Liu Qing and Lin Feng are of the same age, and she is older than Lin Feng. Liu Qing calculated, oh, yes, I'm not even 30. She struggled, when I was pregnant with Xianshan, I thought that after I took the child to kindergarten, I would go out to work. But now, I don't know what I can do. I'm a little socially phobic. Zhang Yuxi thought for a while and said, why don't you come to our school as an intern teacher? Liu Qing was shocked, be a teacher? Elementary school? Junior high school? High school. Zhang Yuxi smiled and said, college. Liu Qing's eyes widened in fear, and then she denied 3 times in a row. No, you are kidding, university teacher, I can't do it. I definitely can't do it. As far as I remember, I just graduated. And how could the school want someone like me? No. Zhang Yuxi persuaded her, give it a try. If you don't give it a try, you will deny yourself. Don't worry, believe it or not, the school will be easy. I will arrange it. Just do your homework. If we really can't do it, it won't be too late to give up when that time comes. Liu Qing was moved by what Zhang Yuxi said and asked hesitantly, can I really do it? Zhang Yuxi encouraged her, give it a try, go all out, and believe that you can do it. Liu Qing had a mental struggle and mustered up the courage. Okay, I'll give it a try. Then Zhang Yuxi and Liu Qing started to get busy and discuss it. Auntie and Lin Feng were responsible for the children's nap. Xianshan had her own room, which was a very beautiful pink princess room. Everything was pink. Erbao and Sanbao opened their eyes wide with longing. Oh my god, I really want to have such a room. Xianshan has her own wardrobe, her own toy shelf, and a table and tableware for the little princess to have afternoon tea. The boys sleep in the guest room. After they went to kindergarten, they didn't like the pink color of girls. Raymond Lam accompanied them to sleep and chatted with them. Dad, can we have our own room? In fact, Raymond Lam already had a plan to let the babies have separate rooms. However, he planned to implement this plan in the summer. Chapter 323, Separate a room for the baby. Because it's hot in summer. Even if the babies sleep with the quilt lifted, they won't catch a cold. But if it's winter, Lin Feng is a little worried. Of course you can. After daddy comes back, you boys will have one room and the girls will have another room. Then we'll decorate it according to your ideas, okay? We can put up pictures of Ultraman and Transformers and put their toys on it. If Sanbeo likes, daddy can give you a separate room. Sanbeo likes quietness, while Sabeo and Dabeo are noisy. If Sanbeo wants a separate room, the family just has the conditions. After hearing what Lin Feng said, Sanbeo's eyes suddenly lit up. Really? Lin Feng nodded. Of course you can. Sanbeo doesn't talk usually, but it doesn't mean she is a stupid child. She can clearly feel that she is different from others. He likes quietness, doesn't like to cater to others, and is not good at expressing himself. This time, Sanbeo hugged Lin Feng. Dad, thank you, you are so kind. Lin Feng hugged her. I am your dad, you can tell me anything you want, understand? Sanbeo nodded. Then she ran out contentedly and played with Erbeo. They were acting out the story of Cinderella. Sanbeo was Cinderella, Erbeo was the mother, and Xianchen was the sister. Sanbeo was working, and the two of them were directing in a very professional manner. Then Erbeo turned to her daughter and said, I heard that the prince is having a wedding. Daughter, you are so beautiful, you will definitely be chosen. The daughter smiled slightly and said very narcissistically, yes, I think so too, the princess is mine. Cinderella Sanbeo seemed to have grasped the essence, and asked pitifully, can I go? Stepmother Erbeo said unhappily, you are just a stinky girl, you can't marry, and you are too ugly. Daughter Xianchen nodded, yes, you are too ugly. Then, Cinderella Sanbeo began to feel very lost and pretended to cry. Fairy Xianchen came with a magic wand in her hand. Such a beautiful and lovely girl, why are you crying here? Is there anything I can do for you? Cinderella wiped her tears and said, I want to go to the prince's ball, but I don't have a beautiful dress to wear. What should I do? The fairy waved her magic wand and said with a smile, this is so easy. I will cast a magic spell on you, and you will have a beautiful dress, so you can go to the prince's ball. Cinderella was touched. Thank you, fairy sister. Then, the fairy waved her magic wand in a serious manner, muttering, be beautiful, be beautiful. Cinderella turned around a few times, looked at the dress on her body, and said with surprise, oh my god, this dress is so beautiful, I like it so much. Thank you, fairy sister, so I can go to the prince's ball. You are so kind, I don't know how to repay you. The fairy smiled slightly, you are a good child, you don't need to repay me, just go to the ball. The next one was Erbeo, who played the prince, with a head on his head. She looked around the whole place and asked in a pretentious manner, why are there no beautiful girls here? Xianchen, who was the stepmother just now, has become a sister again. She walked over, wow, your highness, you are so handsome. Erbeo had a blank expression and even a hint of disgust. It can be said that this acting is really amazing. Go away, you ugly girl. Xianchen asked exaggeratedly, how can I be ugly when I am so beautiful? I am the most beautiful in the world. At this time, Sanbeo came out. Prince Erbeo stepped forward and took Sanbeo's hand. This is the most beautiful, this beautiful lady, shall I ask you to dance with me? Sanbeo nodded shyly. Then the two pretended to hold hands and dance together. At this time, Xianchen turned into a clock and shouted, it's 12 o'clock. Sanbeo was playing happily with Erbeo, and Xianchen reminded them, it's 12 o'clock, we have to go back. Sanbeo then remembered that it was not the time to spin, she was still Cinderella. So she pushed the Prince Erbeo away and was about to leave. Seeing this, my heart was extremely complicated. I couldn't help but recall in my mind. When I was 3 years old, I was probably still playing in the mud. But they were already able to interpret the story of Cinderella. I have to admire that children nowadays are getting smarter and smarter. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe it. They actually acted so well. When I went downstairs, I saw Zhang Yuxi and Liu Qing, who were still talking. But this time, Liu Qing was obviously more confident than before. Liu Qing kept them, since you are here, let's have dinner before leaving. After dinner, it was dark. With the friendship of Cinderella, Xianchen was reluctant to leave Erbeo and Sanbeo. Next time, shall we play Snow White? Erbeo and Sanbeo had no objection. Back home. After cleaning up and putting the babies to sleep, Lin Feng discussed with Zhang Yuxi, I plan to give one of the guest rooms downstairs to Sibao and Dabao. The other two, one for Erbao and one for Sanbao. Zhang Yuxi had no objection. According to Lin Feng, decoration would take some time. Even if non-toxic materials are used, the babies can't move in immediately. It's better to wait a few months. He did it right away. The next day, Lin Feng asked Boss Luo to come and design the children's room. Boss Luo asked about the baby's needs. Dabao and Sibao were simple. The room must have Ultraman, Transformers, and a tent. Erbao's request was that everything should be pink, the wardrobe, bed, and curtains should all be pink. There should also be a small table, etc. Sanbao didn't have so many requirements, and he couldn't explain why. Boss Luo wrote down the baby's needs. Tomorrow I'll bring the plan for the babies to choose. Everyone was familiar with it, and when they left, the babies waved their hands. Goodbye, Uncle Luo. After seeing off Boss Luo, they were going to complete the homework assigned by Teacher Li. Plant small flowers. Pick up leaves on the way, and collect 10 leaves in total. So they came to a flower shop and told the boss about their needs. The boss smiled and said, I just happen to have some seeds here, small red chrysanthemums and small daisies. The boss brought the finished product to show them. This is it. Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi were very satisfied. This is a homework that the baby and the parents have to complete together. So, Lin Feng asked the babies to listen to what the boss said about the precautions. For example, when planting, the seeds cannot be placed too deep. When watering, do not use too much water, etc. He also bought 7 small flower pots, and Zhang Yuxi and Lin Feng also planted one of each. Because it was not far from home, he decided to walk back. By the way, see if there are any leaves to pick up on the way. But Lin Feng didn't know the names of most of these trees, except for the ginkgo tree. There was no way. Lin Feng had to take pictures and then go online to find relevant information. After returning, Lin Feng, Zhang Yuxi and the babies planted small flowers together. After finishing, write your name on each flower pot, and the task is completed. The next step is to make a leaf manual. I counted and there are still 5 types left. Let's go and take the children to the community for a walk. Kehu Villa has planted many trees. Lin Feng and the children picked up leaves. Today, I was lucky and happened to meet the gardener who is pruning branches and leaves. Lin Feng is eager to learn, and asked with a baby, Grandpa, please tell me, what tree is this leaf from? The grandfather saw that Lin Feng lived here, and he must be rich or noble. The babies are so cute and polite, and they said enthusiastically, this is the leaf of Magnolia grandiflora. Lin Feng quickly took a photo and asked, what about this one? This is the leaf of the small-leaved urchin. What about this one? This is the leaf of the golden-leaved urchin. Oh, what about this one? This is the leaf of the red-leaved zyobie. What about this one? The leaf of the luant tree. This is the leaf of the small wax tree. This is the leaf of the coral tree. This is the leaf of the boxwood. This is the leaf of the 10-leaved euonymus, and this is the leaf of the protosporum. Thank you, Grandpa. The babies thanked in unison. Thank you, Grandpa. The old man smiled and said, you're welcome, you're welcome. The entire community collected all 10 kinds of leaves at once. The homework assigned by the teacher is not just for the children to complete, but to complete. So Lin Feng took the babies for another walk in the community. With this experience, they have a general understanding of the trees planted in the community. Chapter 324 Birthday. After returning home, Lin Feng was cooking in the kitchen. Zhang Yuxi and the babies were making small handbooks. Lin Feng said, I have those small cardboard cards in my study, which are just right for making. Zhang Yuxi went upstairs and took down a stack. It was as big as an A4 paper. Zhang Yuxi divided it into 4 and bound it into a book. Lin Feng bought that kind of hole puncher, which is very convenient. Zhang Yuxi and the babies washed the leaves and dry them. They can be made after dinner. After dinner, Zhang Yuxi washed the dishes and Lin Feng accompanied the children to do handicrafts. Is she really not good at this, or is Lin Feng dexterous? Who said he has handicraft skills? Lin Feng distributed the leaves. Okay, now we have to stick them on with double-sided tape, right? Come on, Dad will teach you. Well, that's it. Sanbao accidentally got his hand stuck and was startled. Lin Feng quickly coaxed her, it's okay. After working for a long time, the babies finally finished the leaf handbook. Then write your own name. This was written by Lin Feng. Lin Feng asked the baby to put the manual in his school bag so that he would not forget it when going to school. After doing all this, the babies will take a nap. Lin Feng cleaned up the mess of making the manual. After a busy period, he had to prepare dinner for the babies. Just like that, 3 days passed in a blink of an eye. On the third day, Boss Luo came with the design drawings. The beds of Dabao and Sabao are separate. The two sides have different themes, one is Ultraman and the other is Transformers. In addition, everyone has a wardrobe and a disc with a disc and a bookshelf connected together. Each other's bed is a bunk bed, and you can sleep on the top or the bottom. In the future, when guests come to the house, this bed is enough for sleeping. There are also stickers on the wall, which can be torn off and replaced with new ones without affecting the wallpaper. In the middle is a big tent where the two babies can play together. Erbao's princess room is beautiful. It is all pink and furry, just like the little princess's room. The standard configuration is bunk beds, wardrobes, and desks. A hanging basket is also added, a small one. There are also round tables and small stools for the little princess afternoon tea party. Erbao was very satisfied and happy. Since Sanbao likes music, the theme was music and the color was light blue. The standard configuration was the same. Since she occupied a room by herself, a drum set, a small guitar, etc. were placed in another place. There was also a small karaoke bar. Since Sanbao had no special requirements, Boss Luo didn't know how to design it. Raymond Lam said softly, "Sanbao, if you have any ideas or needs, you can tell Uncle Luo." Sanbao shook her head, but it was obvious that she was not very satisfied. Boss Luo took out his iPad and showed Sanbao the case of the children's room. Sanbao didn't like anything in particular, but when he saw the last picture, his eyes lit up. It turned out that the theme of this picture was the underwater world. The whole room was covered with the wallpaper of the underwater world. Sanbao thought it was interesting and wanted to make something like this. The drawings were designed, so the next step was to start construction. However, after thinking about it, Raymond Lam decided to wait until the holiday was over before starting construction. This way, the babies wouldn't be disturbed. In the evening, Erbao called Xianshan. Little Xianshan was a little unhappy. "Tomorrow is my birthday. My dad said he would come back to celebrate my birthday with me." That expression was so pitiful. Erbao was sweet and good at coaxing people. "Then how about we celebrate your birthday together?" Little Xianshan thought about it and nodded. "Then, we will prepare a small gift for you." When little Xianshan heard that there was a gift, she was immediately happy and said sweetly, "Thank you." Different from the friendship with little Zhang Chechen, Xianshan is a girl and can chat with Erbao and Sanbao more. Especially when Xiao sings sisterhood, the relationship between the three girls is even better. Erbao came over and said to Lin Feng, "Dad, I want to prepare a birthday present for Xianshan." Lin Feng saw Erbao's eyes sparkling, so he asked, "When is Xianshan's birthday?" "Tomorrow." After a pause, Erbao asked again, "Dad, what gift do you think I should prepare?" Lin Feng thought for a while, since it's a birthday present, it must be something she likes. "You are Xianshan's good friend, do you know what she likes?" Erbao thought for a while, "Give her a Barbie doll." Sanbao had already finished a video call with Xianshan, and Dada ran over and said the same thing. "Dad, I want to celebrate Xianshan's birthday." Lin Feng had no objection. "Okay, since you are going to attend a birthday party, you have to prepare a birthday present." Erbao and Sanbao looked at each other. Hand in hand, Dada went upstairs. Lin Feng reminded them, "Be careful, don't fall." On the boys' side, Lin Feng informed them of the news. Their idea was very simple, give a birthday cake. Lin Feng smiled and said, "You guys decide, everyone has to give a present." Zhang Yuxi was upstairs and didn't know what was going on. She came down and asked, "What's wrong?" "The little ones are all in a hurry." Lin Feng explained the reason, and Zhang Yuxi said, "No wonder they are looking for things." "Then when will we go fishing tomorrow?" Lin Feng thought about it, "I don't know." Zhang Yuxi had an idea, "Why not? Call Liu Qing and Xianshan first. If there are no special activities tomorrow, call them too." Lin Feng said, "Okay, go and call and ask." Liu Qing's nasal tone was a little heavy, as if she had been crying. Zhang Yuxi pretended not to know. "Tomorrow is Xianshan's birthday, do you have any plans?" "No, we agreed before that her father would take her to the amusement park, but he couldn't make it this time, so the trip was cancelled." She thought I would take her to the amusement park alone, and she said Erbeo and Sanbeo wanted to give her presents. At this point, Liu Qing's voice finally became cheerful. So I thought, let's celebrate at home, you guys can come too. Zhang Yuxi said with a smile, I have a good place to go. Where? Maybe Liu Qing and Lin Feng were classmates in junior high school, and they are also from Micheng. So Zhang Yuxi felt more intimate with Liu Qing. After hanging up the phone, Zhang Yuxi clapped her hands. It's a deal. She will come with a cake tomorrow at noon. Lin Feng asked, do you want to decorate it? Zhang Yuxi thought about it and said, yes, a cake alone won't have the festive atmosphere. So, decorating the venue is their task. First, we have to buy some balloons. But we don't need to buy this, we have some in stock at home. Why is there this thing? Liu Bo brought it here for the babies to play with. He said it was okay, just blow up a balloon to play with. Liu Bo is going to be a father now. I don't know if you will have such thoughts in the future. Chapter 325 Let's go party on a yacht. The next morning, the family took food, balloons, toys, etc. to the yacht. Both of them were inexperienced, so they decided to make a balloon party. Tie colorful balloons everywhere, add some ribbons, and that's it. As long as there are enough balloons, the children can't tell what's wrong. Inflating is also a physical job. Although Zhang Yuxi is helping, she is actually playing with the babies. They stepped on this one and that one, having a lot of fun. The only one who really worked was Lin Feng. For 2 hours in the morning, Lin Feng was just a tool to inflate balloons, without any feelings. Meanwhile, Zhang Yuxi began to wrap the babies' gifts with gift paper. Dabeo gave a transformer, a red one. I guess she thought that girls would like red. Erbeo gave a Barbie princess set. It seemed to be one of the items in the Barbie doll set that Lin Feng bought for her. Sibeo gave his fashionable necklace. Zhang Yuxi was extremely surprised. Sibeo, Xianshan can't wear this. Sibeo exclaimed, but this is beautiful. Xianshan will like it, right? Zhang Yuxi hesitated for a moment, and finally wrapped up the necklace. The necklace was not very expensive, and it didn't cost much. I bought it as an accessory before I met Raymond Lam. I brought it back with me when I moved, and I kept it because I thought it had some special meaning. While packing it into a gift box, she educated Sibeo. Sibeo, you can't just rummage through mom's things, okay? Sibeo said while playing with balloons, Mom, I didn't move it, I picked it up. Zhang Yuxi believed Sibeo. After thinking about it, it might be Fifi who did it. Next, it was Sanbeo. Sanbeo gave her the jewelry beads that she had always liked, which were colorful and beautiful. This was what Lan bought for Erbeo and Sanbeo that time. Before Erbeo fell in love with Barbie dolls, she liked doll toys. The string of beads that belonged to her fell off when she went out to play, and she was sad for a long time, but it was fine. The gifts were packed, and Lin Feng had blown up a lot of balloons. The couple tied them inside and outside the yacht, which looked pretty. He looked at the time. It was 11:30, and he went to make lunch. Because it was a child's birthday. Lin Feng made things that children like to eat, such as pudding, small cakes, and crispy small cookies. Cola chicken wings, braised chicken feet, etc. These were all mentioned by Liu Qing when she went to her house that day. When Liu Qing arrived at the mooring, she searched for a long time but couldn't find anyone, so she called Zhang Yuxi. From a distance, Xianshan saw the colorful yachts tied to it. Yangcheng is not like Micheng. As a first-tier metropolis, you can see luxury yachts worth millions at the mooring port. But Lin Feng's is the best among them and very eye-catching. Zhang Yuxi asked, do you see the yacht tied with the balloons? This is it, come up. Xianshan pointed to the distance, Mom, I saw it, it's there. Liu Qing's family is well off, which is completely different from Lin Feng's family. The business is getting bigger and bigger, and her parents' home in Micheng is considered to be quite prestigious. Shen Xianshan's father's hometown is in Shanghai, and her parents-in-law are also in Shanghai. The two families are equally powerful and met through a blind date, which is a bit like a marriage alliance. Liu Qing has some airs of a rich girl, but she is not squeamish. She is also a person who has seen the world, and she can tell at a glance that Lin Feng's yacht is worth a lot of money. After getting to know Lin Feng, she even mentioned this matter when she went back to her parents' home. Only then did she know that the Lin family in Micheng was very prosperous. Lin Feng's assets are tens of billions, and now with the assets in Shanghai and the Chuxu Hotel, It is estimated that it is not necessarily hundreds of billions. This surprised Liu Qing and was a little bit unbelievable. Maybe it was because Lin Feng left such a deep impression on Liu Qing in junior high school. Liu Qing got on the yacht with a cake and looked around. This yacht is very beautiful. Did you make all these balloons? That's thoughtful. Liu Qing was touched. Seeing her daughter so happy, she smiled and said, "Thank you for your hard work." Zhang Yuxi didn't take credit for it. "I didn't do anything, it was the father who was busy all the time." Liu Qing looked envious. "I didn't expect Lin Feng to become like this." Zhang Yuxi was curious. "Then what do you think it should be like?" Liu Qing thought for a while. When he was in junior high school, Lin Feng was cool and arrogant. Many girls bought him food and helped him carry his school bag. They didn't have to do anything, like an uncle. I always feel that such a person should find a. At this point, Liu Qing seemed to remember something and changed the subject. "This is the power of love. Lin Feng has changed like this because of you. I really envy you." Zhang Yuxi is a smart person. What Liu Qing didn't finish saying just now. It's roughly. The person Lin Feng should marry should be a good wife and mother. Not a woman like her who can't do anything. She completely turned Lin Feng into a house husband. In fact, many times, Zhang Yuxi also thinks so, but she really can't do anything. Alice. I can only help out and not drag down Raymond Lamb. Sometimes I want to find an auntie. Raymond Lamb feels used to it, but she feels guilty. Children are impatient. The babies can't wait to show the birthday present to Xianshan. Xianshan is very happy, no matter what it is. As long as it is a gift, the children are very happy. Raymond Lamb can have dinner, which makes Liu Qing embarrassed. On the phone, she thought it was a cruise hotel, thinking that she would pay for it herself. Xianshan was actually born in October, but after she was born, it was changed to August. It was for the convenience of school. The babies still called her sister Xianshan. Light the candles. Xianshan made a wish in a formal manner, and then blew out the candles. Everyone sang the birthday song together and clapped their hands to send blessings. This birthday is special for Xianshan. The next step is to cut the cake. The babies like to eat this kind of cake. The cakes were eaten up in a short time, resulting in Raymond Lamb not eating much of the cakes. Liu Qing was embarrassed. When we need to eat, we can just heat it up in the microwave. The children ate and played in the living room while the adults were eating. Sibeo said, "Dad is going to go fishing later." Xianshan's eyes sparkled. "Fishing? Wow, I want to go fishing too." Erbeo said quickly, "No, we are too young, this is too high." Xianshan was a little disappointed. Sanbeo comforted her, "We can watch Dad fishing." Liu Qing had just finished her meal when Xianshan's father sent her a video. She hesitated for a moment and answered it. "Wife, where are the children?" Liu Qing called Xianshan. "Xianshan, Dad's video." Xianshan was happy, but after hearing it, she came over and took the phone a little unhappy. "Dad, you lied, you are a big liar." "Xianshan, can you forgive Dad this time? Wait until Dad is done with his work here, and then take you out to play, okay?" Xianshan pouted and said nothing. Xianshan's dad coaxed her, "Baby, you can go wherever you want this time, okay?" Xianshan reluctantly agreed, "Okay, I'll forgive you this time." Xianshan's dad smiled, "Okay, forgive Dad this time." He found something and asked, "Xianshan, where are you now?" Speaking of this, Xianshan suddenly became excited. "I'm on a boat, a very big boat. Uncle is going to go fishing later. There's a lot of water outside, fishing in the river." Xianshan's dad smiled and asked, "Uncle? Which uncle? Does Dad know him?" Children can't hear anything, but adults can. Xianshan shook her head, "Dad doesn't know him." She remembered the toy that Sanbeo gave her, and said like offering a treasure, "Dad, look, this is what Sanbeo gave me, isn't it beautiful? This is what Dabeo gave me, and this is Sanbeo." The man also saw a few babies appearing behind his daughter, and they looked quite similar. The man exclaimed, "Are they quadruplets?" Xianshan nodded, "Yes." Then he returned the phone to Liu Qing. "I won't tell Dad. Dad ran to play with the babies." Liu Qing took the phone and said in a cold tone, "You are busy, I will hang up first." "Well, I expect to be back after the vacation." Liu Qing's mouth twitched slightly. "Can you finish your work?" The tone was a little weird, and she hung up the phone without waiting for the other party to respond. On this side, Lin Feng had already prepared a fishing rod to go fishing. This fishing rod was taken from Lin Dashan. It has been kept in the cabinet. Lin Feng has had 2 or 3 fishing experiences, and this time he is still in good shape. The babies surrounded Xianshan and told her not to talk. If you talk, the fish will hear it and run away. There will be fish coming up soon. In less than 10 minutes, Lin Feng caught a grass carp weighing more than 1 kilogram. Xianshan screamed excitedly. This was her first time to see fishing. Dada ran to Liu Qing and looked up. Mom, can you catch one too? We will go home and feed it in the fish tank, okay? Faced with a child's reasonable request, no parent would disagree. Zhang Yuxi smiled and said, I'll go see if there are any more fishing rods. There really was one. Zhang Yuxi didn't know how to do these, so she gave it to Lin Feng. Lin Feng put on the bait, cast out the fishing line, and then handed the fishing rod to Liu Qing. This was Liu Qing's first time fishing, and she was looking forward to it. She was lucky, and the fishing line started to move in less than a minute. The mother and daughter were surprised and happy, and Xianshan was even more excited and screamed repeatedly. Dabao covered her mouth very simply and roughly. The fish will be scared away. Liu Qing couldn't pull the fishing rod, so she asked Lin Feng for help. Lin Feng put down the fishing rod, took Liu Qing's fishing rod, and pulled it up. A grass carp weighing about 3 or 4 pounds was struggling on the hook. Xianshan screamed, "Ah, Mom is so great, Mom is super great." Liu Qing also felt that she was very good. It was her first time fishing, and she actually caught such a big fish, which was a great sense of accomplishment. Xianshan begged, "Mom, can we keep this fish? Let's wait for Dad to come back and show it to him, okay?" Liu Qing couldn't bear to refuse, and said gently, "Okay." So the babies followed suit and wanted to keep the fish that Lin Feng had just caught. Lin Feng had no objection, fishing was just for fun anyway. After fishing, the babies took a nap. Zhang Yuxi and Lin Feng also had the habit of taking a nap, and so did Liu Qing. When taking care of children, you have to coax them to sleep. Even if you don't coax them, children will ask adults to accompany them. Over time, they will develop the habit of taking a nap. Lin Feng slept for half an hour and got up, planning to make pickled fish. He planned to eat dinner before going back. If he went back to cook, the babies would probably be hungry. They didn't eat much because they made birthday cakes at noon. At 5 or 6 in the afternoon, Lin Feng had already prepared dinner. The adults ate pickled fish and simple vegetarian dishes. The babies drank crucian carp soup and heated up the cola chicken wings and chicken feet that they hadn't finished eating at noon. This time, everyone ate deliciously. Liu Qing envied, "It's even better than the food our aunt cooked." "Yuxi, you are so lucky." Zhang Yuxi can now answer this question with great pride and satisfaction. "Yes, I am very lucky to marry him." End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.